Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Mining for All. I have millions of gold miners. Chapter 41. Yi Bai originally planned to leave Alice in the mine to help. But she unexpectedly transferred to Jackie Chan Warlock. Its innate ability can also cooperate with Yi Bai's Yuan Tianxi. This time I went to the White Skeleton field to find oil, which I guess would be of great help. So I planned to take her with me. The other people's affairs were arranged one by one, listening to the constant reminders in the ears. Yi Bai patted and finished eating the silver-scaled pangolin basking in the sun. It's time to go on the road. Alice, sit down first. The pangolin bowed his head unwillingly. After all, it was eating people with short mouths. Ellie was not afraid of life at all, and climbed up with a smile. The pangolin, which is more than 5 meters long, has a broad back and smooth silver scales. Not to mention 2 people sitting, it is more than 10 more. Yi Bai also took the lucky cat with him. How could he go out for treasure hunting without it? Dragon Mouse, exercise more when you're full. Come and see that mountain with me. Quote. Yi Bai greeted the gem dragon mouse to go with him. The dragon rat was a little lazy, and at the urging of the lucky cat, shaking his big belly, burrowed into the ground. It still chooses to go to the past, to guide the way. But instead of sitting on the pangolin, he made a hole directly. Let's start looking for oil, and the mine will be handed over to you. Anything, feel free to contact me anytime. The minecart is left to you, it is convenient to go anywhere. Save on petrol. Quote. Yi Bai rode on the back of the pangolin and shouted loudly. Alice sat behind her with a smile, holding Yi Bai tightly in both hands. The short golden hair flutters in the wind, and the temperament is extremely chic. The mine owner as well, and he will come back later. It will definitely surprise you. The crowd laughed and sent each other. It was just after 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and the sun was shining brightly. The small river is sparkling, and the plump fish and shrimp jump out of the river. Every now and then, 1 or 2 moles would pop up, biting on the spirit stone. Swim to the shore, and obediently threw the spirit stone into the basket. Sometimes Grandpa Martin would give it a piece of meat, which would arouse the mole's fighting spirit even more. Not far away, 2 cranes have already started construction. Grandpa Jack and Tom are trying to see who can salvage the fish faster. In their eyes, everything in the water is vivid. All kinds of fish wandering, gems, spiritual stones, and gold buried deep in the river bottom. Not to mention how happy a few grandpas were salvaged. And Yi Bai's ears also came with a series of reminders. Your grandfather Jack successfully salvaged X32 spirit stones, please make persistent efforts. Your grandpa Tom successfully salvaged X3 sapphires. Your grandfather Martin successfully salvaged X2 diamonds. The moles you hired salvaged X45 spirit stones. ... Yi Bai seemed to see the numbers of +1, +2, +3 that kept floating out of his wealth. In fact, on the wealth list, since the work just started, his wealth soared so fast that other gold diggers were stunned. Around the mine, Leopard Head and Grandpa Diamond are driving the Wolf King mountain breaker, breaking through rocks, cut down trees and build fortifications. By the way, the residential house is being expanded. After all, the family has a big business. The mine hut that was originally rewarded is no longer enough. In the house, the little cook Zawan is working tirelessly to cook the deviled wolf meat, red carp, etc. In the dark earth, Grandpa Hulu is plowing with a planter, and when the machine walks a hole, it will automatically bury it. Yi Bai was overjoyed to see such a steaming up scene. With these people alone, why can't you achieve great things? He drove the pangolins under his seat, and quickly rushed along the southwest direction. This area itself is the territory of silver-scaled pangolins, so it is very familiar. Move fast. Hey, mine owner, I think this mountain range that stretches to our basin seems to be the same one. It was the end of the mountain range that was chiseled by Martin's grandfathers in the morning. We are now following the tracking all the way, possibly to the main vein of this mountain range. Quote. Alice behind her eyes seemed to see through something. Yi Bai opened his eyes and added the perspective function. I vaguely feel that this mountain range that I walk on is one. Currently, he is moving forward from the end. It's kind of weird. And there is a lot of gold and bones buried on the ground. Quote. Yi Bai chatted through other people, and also knew that their harvest was pitiful. Remove Yi Bai's plug-in ability, and the land where the gold diggers come is also very barren. Comparing them to the bottom of the small basin under the river, they are all a land of abundance. Gold and silver were everywhere, and he vaguely sensed something strange. Along the way, the two studied the terrain with each other, riding on pangolins to ignore all kinds of complex terrain. A monster with short eyes came to provoke it, and under the deterrence of the former overlord, it had fled far away. After a while, the two found what the dragon mouse said. The mountain is covered with a layer of white ash slopes. Warning: you have entered the A-level difficulty map, White Bone Field. Please proceed with caution and recommend avoiding it. Here, the giant tree is towering. Ancient trees that are several times bigger than the outside world grow savagely here. As vigorous as a python, the old vines with the thickness of the bowl are entangled on the trees and the ground. There are also bushes taller than people, and the height of the mutant green grass is submerged to the waist. It was the sun at its peak. But beneath the forest it was dark and dank. The sun on her head was snatched by an ancient tree. Alice looked up. I vaguely feel that those ghostly branches are like devils with claws and claws. Since stepping in here, there has been a depressing atmosphere in my heart, making people dare not act rashly. The silver-scaled pangolin is honest, lying on the ground and not daring to take a step forward. The lucky cat grabbed Yi Bai's clothes and hid in his arms, not daring to meow. Where did the prestige at home go before? A dragon at home, a worm outside. Quote. Yi Bai patted the pangolin's head in exasperation and jumped off its back. He even went to help Alice. Unexpectedly, Alice did a backflip swiftly, with a valiant appearance. No wonder there is a faint dragon power here. It came from the ground, and it was very fearful for many beasts. Quote. Yi Bai heard the words, a thought flashed in his eyes. From the moment I entered here, he felt a hint of depression in his heart, but because of his domineering look, he didn't care. Coupled with Alice's words, he is sure that there is a ghost here. Suddenly, Yi Bai's left eye jumped, and Genshin's eyes seemed to see a ray of golden light in the corner. Unconsciously, he turned his head and looked over. The next moment, an extremely overbearing dragon roar exploded in his mind. After being attacked by the inexplicable dragon roar, the spiral force in the body quickly began to counterattack. The spiral force is the force derived from the mind and the momentum, and the two are exactly the tip of the needle against the wheat. A domineering arrogance burst out from Yi Bai. Form a substantial explosion wave to spread around. The leaves are rustling, and many ancient trees are broken by the waste. Serious warning. Attacked by the broken dragon soul fragments. Your domineering arrogance automatically starts to fight back. The counterattack is successful. You perfectly resist the damage of this attack. The overlord is domineering and devouring the invading dragon soul fragments. Your domineering arrogance has been strengthened, and you are about to break through to the intermediate level. With just a sliver, Yi Bai's domineering will be able to advance again. However, the raid also made him break out in a cold sweat. This is not a sneak attack by the enemy, but a self-counterattack of this map. That's the soul fragment of a broken dragon, which means that a high-level dragon has fallen here. Yi Bai felt a little regret in his heart. If he devoured some more dragon soul fragments, he might be able to advance to the intermediate level. Are you all right, mine owner? It was scary just now. Alice's face was flushed, and she asked unaffected. The silver-scaled pangolin on the side was trembling with fear of Longwei, and the lucky cat in his arms was also fried. I'm fine, it should be the invasion that triggered a special counterattack. It seems to be related to the beast dragon here. It may be because you have dragon blood on your body, so it is not affected. Quote. Yi Bai asked Alice to search for oil along the ley lines. He muttered in his heart that this map could be discovered by the gem dragon mouse, probably because of the dragon's blood. Do not. A clue suddenly appeared in Yi Bai's mind, connecting the map from the small pelvic floor to this place. Perhaps the bottom of his pelvis was the result of the damage caused by this giant dragon. Not long ago, the silver mine that Martin and the others excavated was the tail end of the dragon's body after it fell. Back to the source, maybe even the bloodline of the gem dragon rat came from this inexplicably fallen dragon. If a dragon really falls here, it's a super treasure. Not to mention all things nourished by its dragon corpse. The remaining dragon scales, dragon crystals, and dragon blood are rare treasures. Quote. Involuntarily, Yi Bai's left eye looked at the place that attracted him in the first place. That is also the most prosperous place of Longwei. There is a towering twin-peaked mountain. The golden light that attracts Yi Bai is at the center of the junction of twin peaks. According to my calculations, that is to say, there is the essence of the dragon's brain. Where are all the dragon balls and dragon crystals? Quote. Twin Peaks Mountain is 5 kilometers away. His eyes widened, trying to see what was hidden there. The identification technique, the source technique, the source god eye, and the perspective functions were all used, just when the eyes he looked at were bloodshot. A sound of heaven finally appeared. Ding dong. Congrats on your luck and found the hidden map by accident. The Dragon Cave of the Buried Land of the Giant Dragon. Serious warning. The Dragon Cave difficulty assessment is SS grade. It is extremely dangerous to hide, and the white corpse field where it is currently is the outer periphery of the outer periphery. The Dragon Cave is the core of this giant dragon mountain range. It is recommended that gold diggers have not evolved to the gold level and do not go to challenge. There was also a red warning accompanied by the sound of nature, and Yi Bai frowned when he saw it. Another SS level dangerous place. There is a dragon's cave hidden in Shuangfang Mountain. It seems that someone has already occupied it first. Yi Bai looks at the heights in the distance. When I was thinking about how to make a fortune in wool. Alice studied the white soil on the ground and suddenly said in surprise. Mine owner, these white ashes are formed by the condensed soil of the marrow essence after the death of some powerful monsters. Very nutritious and also the best building material. We can use it to build houses and build city walls in our mines. Quote. At present, there are 100 acres of black land, which is enough for Grandpa Hulu to work. Now the first thing is to get some oil. Quote. Yi Bai reminded not to forget the purpose. And what about that big mouse? After eating so much meat from me, I can't just run away. Quote. Talk about the dragon mouse, and the dragon mouse will come. Seems to hear Yi Bai complaining about himself. With a wriggling corner. A fat dragon rat's head leaked out, and a burst of chirping. Meeting the old enemy, the lucky cat in Yi Bai's arms recovered his spirit. Run out and babble at it for a while. And under the guidance of the dragon mouse, Yi Bai urged the silver-scaled pangolin to dig a hole, starting from the surface and going deep into the soil. Here, his perspective skills are still there and shared with Alice. But it may be because of the special soil, with the blessing of dragon energy. Yi Bai's perspective is limited. It is still possible to use the upper source divine eye to see 5 meters away. It was Alice's dragon vein talent that played a role here. Mine owner, what I saw seems to be a little different from yours. I vaguely feel that we are currently near the tailbone of a dragon corpse. Quote. At present, 2 people and 3 beasts have penetrated into the land more than 5 meters deep. Pangolins are easy to use, faster than cranes. In the darkness, Alice's eyes twinkled. I seem to have seen the dragon veins mentioned earlier, but I didn't expect us to be so lucky. A dragon vein was born so close to the mine. Quote. Alice's words made Yi Bai's heart skip a beat. My own apprentice Yuan Tianxi advanced, but it is related to the dragon veins. And if you can dig up a dragon vein and bury it in your own territory, you might be able to upgrade the entire mine. The next super promotion will fully enhance the territorial potential. I didn't expect that this trip to look for oil would yield such a big harvest. Yi Bai looked at the jewel dragon rat who was leading the way, and could not wait to hug it and tie it up. Don't let it go. This timid guy brings himself a big gift every time he comes over. A super lucky beast. Where is the origin of the dragon veins? Yi Bai couldn't even care about the oil, and hurriedly asked. Ah, I can only see a general direction. It seems to be the mountain you were looking at before. And my blood intuition tells me it's dangerous there. I could vaguely hear an extremely small, long breath, once an average of half an hour. Quote. Alice's words let Yi Bai know the difficulty of SS rank. Nestled in the dragon's lair, occupying all the treasures of this fallen dragon is a super boss. Dragon Mouse, you have been here for so long. Even oil was discovered. Do you know what happened to that monster? Quote. Yi Bai curiously asked the gem dragon rat in front of him. unexpectedly to hear him talking about the mountain. The gem dragon rat twitched, almost afraid to move forward. There was a chirping cry, and the tone was full of cowardice. Through the fortune translation, Yi Bai can only vaguely know that it expresses an animal that likes to sleep but eats half a mountain once it wakes up. It is more than 10 meters long, with terrifying wings. A big guy who spreads his wings to cover the sky, and brings fire and destruction every time he is born. Quote, it is also difficult to translate for money. But when Yi Bai heard it, didn't he realize that this was the standard Western description of a dragon? It seems that this big boss sleeping in dragon blood occupies the essence of dragon veins. It is estimated that Longjing and the like are also in its hands. It is the super boss who has won the greatest fortune in this giant dragon mountain range. Yi Bai had a hunch that it should be the regional overlord of this mountain range. If you beat it, the benefits you get are unimaginable. There is Bai Yin passing by in the west, and the prehistoric emperor dragon crocodile is entrenched. There are super boss entrenched in the mountains in the east, they are both good. Carved up the power territory on both sides of the east and west, and sandwiched me in the middle. In order to develop a large gold mine, it must expand in one direction. I don't know which of the two monsters is the most powerful. Quote, just as Yi Bai was trying to figure it out, a pungent smell penetrated into his nostrils. At the same time, a yellow warning line also appears on the properties panel. Reminder, at present, you have penetrated 12 meters into the soil, please be careful. Mine owner, we seem to have reached our destination. Alice was still behind Yi Bai, leaning on the back of the pangolin and said carefully. The jewel dragon rat who led the way in front was very conscientious and opened a trail from the surface. The pangolin expands, opening up an avenue, and approaching with the purpose. I saw that after drilling through a wall, the surrounding world suddenly opened up. Yi Bai looked up and looked around. I saw that this is an underground cave with an area as large as 2 football fields, and the whole looks like a huge circular space. Indistinctly, you can see that there are densely packed small holes in the cave walls. Under the cave, a pungent black-brown viscous liquid was quietly flowing. This is exactly the industrial blood of Yi Bai Zayasi's dream. Congratulations on your successful discovery of a large oil mine. The total reserve is expected to exceed 10 million tons. Congratulations on your wealth and rivalry with the most reliable strategic reserves. Hearing this news, Yi Bai almost didn't laugh out loud. More than 10 million tons of oil fields, what is the concept? Enough for the gold mine to operate 100,000 machines, and the development will be unrestricted from now on. Even if it is reported to the state and the coordinates are sold to the consortium. It can make a person worry about food and clothing for 10 lifetimes. Of course, this kind of strategic treasure, the general consortium does not have the strength to swallow it. Usually the state takes over. The silver-scaled pangolin didn't know why its owner was so happy. It shook its head and drilled its body into this crypt. It feels a bit cramped here, but I want to go back instead. Come on, Alice, let's hit a few hundred barrels of oil first. After I go back, I will specially send someone here to station and fight for oil on a daily basis. After all, the machine is running every day, and the oil needs to be used. Quote, Yi Bai greeted Alice to come down. Take out the standard oil barrels prepared before and plan to mine a little in case of emergency. Resources like oil, like gold. After collection, put it in the system space, and it can be counted as a bucket-by-bucket unit. Just as the two were planning to collect in the crypt. Suddenly, a rustling sound was heard. A group of dark spiders ran out of an unremarkable cave in the stone wall. Yi Bai's eyelids jumped when he saw it. I know that there is no such good thing. Let me see which guy with short eyes dares to occupy the oil field. Here is the perimeter of the outer perimeter of the Dragon Mountains. He is not afraid of some unpredictable monsters here. At best, it's just A-level difficulty. Warn, your invasion has caused the owner of Hailong Oilfield. Attention ghost spiders. The most troublesome thing about fighting here is that you can't spread your arms and legs, otherwise it's easy to collapse the cave. But seeing the demon spiders attacking, Yi Bai also knew that this time he couldn't be good. Pangolin, take Alice and the lucky cat back to the ground first, this area is not suitable for you. I'll find you on the top after I get rid of the bosses here. Quote. As for the gem dragon mouse, this guy just moved a little and ran faster than anyone else. Okay, mine owner, pay attention to safety. Alice was not reserved, riding on the pangolin and quickly returned along the way she came. In a blink of an eye, the two disappeared. At this time, there were at least 1,000 ghost-faced spiders coming from all directions. Formed like a wave, it rushed towards Yi Bai. After Alice left, Yi Bai had no scruples. Get out of here. The domineering arrogance containing a wisp of dragon power exploded in an all-round way. At the same time, Yi Bai used the glittering fruit ability, and his whole body glowed with golden light. Every cell glows with infinite light. In this limited cave, it is as bright as a nuclear explosion scene. The temperature kept rising, and even some crude oil started to burn. Ghost-faced spiders live underground all the year round, and even their eyes have degenerated. When have I seen such a grand scene, plus the domineering double blow? For a while, thousands of ghost-faced spiders crashed to the ground. Like a crab at low tide, with its belly upturned. Before he could breathe a sigh of relief, the alarm bell rose in his heart. Suddenly looking up, a huge 8-legged shadow spit out a poisonous spider web, and suddenly fell to attack. Warn, you have smashed the ghost-faced spider swarm. Boss Intermediate Silver Boss, Ghostface and Spider Mother is angry. How overdue is this reminder? This magic spider mother, bigger than a bison, is extremely cunning. Let the descendants die before. However, he hid above to weave a magic net, and shrouded him in a rush. The moment Yi Bai raised his head, also know the origin of their names. The black and white patterns on the demon spider mother's body are like a ghostly face in hell, which makes people shudder. What is even more terrifying is the sizzling, poisonous white cobwebs. This is A-level difficulty, Silver Intermediate. Yi Bai was at a disadvantage but did not panic at all. The current rookie level is only bronze. The level of Silver Boss is really scary. But he was a master of art and bold, and saw 2 laser beams suddenly appear in the eyes of Yuenshin with double pupils. After passing through the spider web, he instantly pierced through the body of the ghost-faced spider mother. Make the other party howl in terror. But the white spider web also fell in front of Yi Bai. Tiankong Cloud Sword. Yi Bai's hands suddenly glowed with golden light. In an instant, in the darkness, a dazzling lightsaber condensed out. In the animation, Kizaru used this trick to fight swords with others. Although Yi Bai is not that strong at the moment, he is more than enough to deal with the ghost-faced spider mother. I saw that his hands were instantly wrapped in armed domineering. He waved the Tiankong Cloud Sword and slashed towards the spider web. During this process, the light and heat of Tiankong Yunjian burned the spider web one step ahead. This is its nemesis. The proud ultimate move of the ghost-faced devil spider mother was instantly broken. Although she herself was pierced by 2 lasers. But for her huge body, as long as she doesn't hit the key points, it doesn't matter. Even more terrifying is her own attack. That black and white hell face has already opened its mouth wide, and plans to swallow Yi Bai in one bite. This crypt is not convenient for my fight. Yi Bai was trapped in a narrow cave space. The biggest advantage of a suit is that the extreme speed cannot be used, which is extremely depressing. But that doesn't mean he doesn't have the ability to fight back. This place is intricate, with dense caves on the stone walls and the ground. These were the places where the spiders lived, but now they were Yi Bai's hiding places. Yi Bai turned into a beam of light, and at the moment when the magic spider mother jumped into a cave, Kankan avoided this killer move. It's really a poisonous spider, and it uses venom. Yi Bai looked at the drops of green liquid corroding his body, and said sincerely, I don't know when these venoms spilled on me. It is so toxic that it can corrode metals. His clothing and body were corroding at a speed visible to the naked eye. Perhaps the previous 2 moves were all cover-ups, and this was the real killer move. It's a pity that when you met me, the means you were most proud of were scrapped. As Yi Bai's corroded place blooms with golden light. The next moment, his injury returned to normal. Elementalization is so overbearing. And the next battle is more interesting. Yi Bai is like hide and seek. With the help of caves and cracks to avoid the execution of the spider mother, occasionally counterattack. Although the ghost-faced spider mother has the advantage of the home court, she can also summon future generations to besiege. But it is also trapped by the huge body, but it cannot be precisely encircled and suppressed. The most proud spider web and venom are ineffective, and they can only be slowly increased by Yi Bai. In this challenge, Yi Bai also silently calculated his current strength. The glittering fruit is extremely powerful, coupled with the overlord color, armed color, and spiral force of the group attack. These are enough to make yourself at least protect yourself below the gold level, and the above is very dangerous. Break me. When one of the spider legs of the magic spider mother was cut off by Yi Bai, her body lost her balance instantly. When the agility and coordination of the entire body instantly dropped a step. The end of this battle is already doomed. The Tiankong cloud sword in Yi Bai's hand was made of light particles, and it was as sharp as a real lightsaber. Its sharpness is as powerful as Yi Bai's fruit development, and it doesn't take a few strokes to chop off the spider legs. With the spider legs cut off one by one, in a blink of an eye, the ghost-faced spider mother became a super chubby piece. Rest in peace. Yi Bai's expressionless lightsaber pierced into the spider mother's head, accompanied by splattered green blood. After the torso of the ghost-faced spider mother moved a few times, it was completely silent. The rest of the spiders in the cave fled. At the same time, a ray of light spilled out from the body of the magic spider mother, and gradually condensed a card. Yi Bai's heart skipped a beat. Come on, let's see what level of cards it is this time. A-level difficulty is definitely not low. This boss even has a home field advantage, and both cobwebs and venom are extremely difficult to deal with. It is estimated that the senior silver does not want to entangle with her, so he restrains himself. Congratulations on your bravery and invincibility, successfully expelling a group of magic spiders entrenched in the white skeleton field. Successfully killed the middle-level silver boss ghost-faced spider mother and gained control of the Hailong oil field. Collecting resource cards. Congratulations on your successful acquisition of the A-level resource card, Black Dragon oil field. Beautiful, the first A-rank card. Although I had an expectation in my heart, when it actually appeared, it still made Yi Bai excited to clench his fist. I saw that the cards in the air were condensed, and a mysterious cave was drawn on it. The shape of the cave was vaguely like a dragon head. A drawing of a black viscous liquid flowing from the faucet. As everything goes away, Yi Bai's body was suddenly shocked, and it turned out that he had learned a lot of experience in the battle just now, and unexpectedly leveled up. Congratulations on your successful promotion to the bronze intermediate level, your strength has improved a lot, please make persistent efforts. Just when Yi Bai thought the surprise was big enough, unexpectedly, a more grand world announcement sound came from my ears. World announcement. Congratulations to Yi Bai under the guidance of Rui Beast. Successfully found the SS level mysterious map, the place where the dragon is buried. Congratulations to Yi Bai for successfully defeating the silver level boss ghost-faced spider mother and successfully completing the A-level challenge. Get the A-level resource card, Black Dragon Oilfield. In order to commend his feats, we will reward the S-level skill book, Galaxy Starburst. Today's underground world is extraordinarily lively, and everyone has entered a period of great explosion. Gold, gems, hearts of mountains, and other rare treasures were dug up one by one. Among them, there are many rare treasures in the world, such as the lucky one who excavated an ancient fossil, which also made the world an announcement. But none of them are one after another that shakes the world. Especially the content disclosed in the announcement is really appalling. I see that Boss Yi's wealth is soaring every moment, and now all the points combined have exceeded 10,000. Thinking that it was too much, he must have been panning for gold and digging for treasures all afternoon. Why is he still expanding his territory outside? Then the wealth before that was dug by his subordinates. Quote, accumulated tens of thousands of points in less than a day. Equivalent to star coins, I am afraid it is more than 1 billion, right? Not to mention the incalculable extraordinary things like spirit stones. Quote, Boss Yi has several subordinates, how can digging treasures be so powerful? He himself went out with confidence, and was not afraid that his subordinates would secretly hide. Boss Yi took me to eat a meal. Quote, everyone was shocked by Yi Bai's monstrous wealth accumulated in 2 days. He was shocked by his current strength. Johnson, who was originally competing with him, and even the second generation of mines in Yanguo felt a bit of weakness. Is this someone they can catch up with? Dare to kill even the silver boss? That can destroy the existence of a 500-man modern soldier. And it's still in a dangerous SS level map. Isn't this courage too fat? No wonder you can get an A-level resource card. Quote. Tisk tisk, it turned out to be oil. Before, Mr. Yi had been buying oil on the trading platform, at a premium. Now he has also engaged in a large oil field. I don't know how much reserve a dignified grade A resource card can have. Quote. There are not many A-level petrol cards in the country. When the country hears this news, it is afraid that it will come to receive it in person and cooperate in development. Quote. The appearance of oil is similar to that of spirit stones, which shocks not only ordinary people, including the second generation of mines who have always despised Yi Bai. They have huge capital behind them. I didn't pay attention to the momentary lag in the start. But these two resources are treasures that even the super consortium and the country behind them must frantically snatch. Oil is everywhere, and many people are digging underground for treasure, occasionally digging up a few barrels. But like Yi Bai, resource cards that are directly judged to be A-level are rare. This is a treasure trove that can produce stable daily output. Mr. Yi, have you considered selling the Hailong oil field in your hand? I am the son of Penguin's major shareholder, Ning Jing. Qualified to mobilize funds within a certain range, whether it is an oil field or a Lingxi mine, as long as you are willing to sell it. The price will definitely satisfy you. Quote. This is a private letter sent to Yi Bai by the 9th person on the fortune list. Before crossing, recruiting people in Guangcheng No. 1 middle school was just an ordinary salesman under the Penguin Group. Now even the top second-generation mines in the country are praying for cooperation. Yi Bai is quite sighed for a while. Of course, the transaction is still unsuccessful, and the development of the mine is when resources are needed. Hee, congratulations on laying down another oil field. Why is your luck so good? You can always meet all kinds of treasures. There are so many employees under my father's banner, and none of them can compare to you alone. When you go back tomorrow, I am afraid that you will be financially free and become the brightest star of the Yan Kingdom. Quote. Mu Lingwei sent congratulations without mentioning the acquisition. In addition, there are other well-known domestic second-generation mines on the list who have sent private messages to acquire them. Even foreigners charge sky-high prices, to be honest. Seeing tens of billions of star coins, Yi Bai was a little moved. This is an astronomical figure that he never dared to imagine before, but he knows the wealth hidden behind the resources. Can only secretly curse. The big dog is really rich. There were also private messages from many other people, etc. Yi Bai ignored them one by one. The most important thing now is to observe a skill book that suddenly floats down from the sky. The name of this skill book is too domineering. And looking at the introduction, it is still specially equipped with its own light system trick. Galaxy Star Burst S-level light system skills condense all the light on the body. It exploded in 1,000th of a second, and the infinite light and heat swallowed everything visible to the naked eye. Can condense starburst in one, for single attack. It can also be transformed into thousands of meteorite impact, for group attack. It is said that cultivation to the peak can destroy the entire galaxy in an instant. Quote. It's a good match for my shiny fruit, study. Yi Bai laughed. The next moment, the skill book turned into a starlight and poured into his mind. This trick is worthy of the world's reward, and the affinity is very suitable. And it complements Yi Bai's spiral force. He simulated the ultimate move power in his mind. Its explosive power made Yi Bai feel terrified. But obviously, underground caves are not the right place to practice. Alice, Lucky, come down and take a look, the spider has been driven away. Yi Bai shouted loudly after the passage, and Alice's laughter soon surfaced. Wait a minute, mine owner, I'm being chased by a group of leggy piranhas. Come down later. Quote. Yi Bai, but I haven't seen each other for a while, and the plants have all mutated. Not long ago, Yi Bai was entangled with the ghost-faced spider mother. Alice on the surface studies the ashes and soil on the ground with Lucky and Pangolin. By the way, find out if there are other babies around. And it is well known that, as long as it is related to dragons, it is an ordinary weed that can evolve into dragon whiskers. Therefore, Alice, who is the son of nature, unexpectedly discovered rare herbs, ancient trees, etc. For example, Yulu flower, ambergris, dragon wood, etc. are all very good plants. Yi Bai's previous acquisitions on the trading platform were some popular goods. Seeds with really miraculous effects have long been hidden away by gold diggers. Therefore, the materials that Alice discovered are of very high quality. Whether it is medicinal or as a building material, it is very convenient. And just as she was digging for flowers and plants with relish, Zhao Kai suddenly shouted to remind. The next moment, I saw in the bushes. A group of originally quiet purple flowers with thorns suddenly appeared. He opened his mouth large enough to swallow a wild boar, and stretched out his fangs and tongue. Swallowed Alice. Blasting. Fortunately, she has been transferred to the Dragon Vein Warlock, and she is singing magic at the speed of light. The talent skills boomed. This group of fried piranhas are disgraced, with branches and leaves flying all over the sky. The silver-scaled pangolin hurried to cheer. It has rough skin and thick flesh. And with silver scales attached to it, not afraid of piranhas. Instead, fight with them. But I didn't expect this group of piranhas. I don't know if it's because of the dragon's blood, or because I've been hungry for too long, it's extremely ferocious. Not only was he not killed by blasting, but he stepped out of the roots and thighs. With open teeth and claws, he killed Alice. At one time, there were hundreds of purple piranhas chasing and killing Alice. The silver-scaled pangolin was besieged by piranhas and ran away in pain. When Yi Bai flew out of the tunnel, black lines all over his face. But this time, his appraisal technique suddenly gave a special reminder. Please note that you have discovered an unknown variant, Dragon Blood Man-Eater Flower Guide. This is a new species that has never been seen before, please proceed with caution. A species that didn't exist in the ground before. We came across it. For a while Yi Bai was amazed. Not busy saving Alice and the others, but observing the 100 dragon blood piranhas. Among them, the one leading the way is the most ferocious, with a mouthful of fangs that is stronger than a gluttonous one. Stepping away from the branches and moving, the speed is not inferior to tigers and leopards. Dragon blood piranha, the new species, originally a group of common man-eating flowers. By chance, I absorbed the dragon's blood in the soil. It became extremely fierce, and it also grew roots and legs, free from the bondage of the land. Can hunt down prey, catch whoever eats whoever. Great appetite, no picky eaters. It has great potential and can mutate differently depending on the prey it devours. Quote. Note, if you defeat them, you can get the soil layer of the white bone field on the ground. Yi Bai frowned. This is another resource card of soil properties. He was moved, and no one would think that he had little fertile land. More importantly, after reading the illustrations of the new species, he thought of the monster attack coming at night. It suddenly occurred to me that if this group were planted on both sides of the river, how good is it to be the first line of defense in a mine? It's no wonder he thinks so, mainly because these purple piranhas remind him of Plants vs. Zombies. The tactics inside are not that the piranha is in front. Does anyone else output in the back? And now the moles are still working for themselves. Yi Bai, who has tasted the sweetness, doesn't want to miss it. So he flew over suddenly, turned into a long rainbow and landed on the fleeing pangolin. You piranhas are probably full and hungry in the forest on weekdays. Why don't you go back to the mine with me and provide you with a fixed amount of meat every day? How? Quote. Anyway, man-eating flowers are easy to feed, and the small river basin can produce so many fish and shrimp every day. Even the rotten fish and shells are enough to supply the daily consumption of 100 piranhas. The leader of the dragon blood piranha listened to Yi Bai's words and didn't take it seriously. On the contrary, I feel that there is one more person, and I can eat again. Therefore, he stuck out his big tongue and chased after him more excitedly. Miners, they have simple heads. I guess I can't understand your idea. Quote. Alice reminded quietly. This is simple, even if you only have simple thinking, you can cooperate. Yi Bai resorted to old tactics. The domineering arrogance all over his body suddenly erupted. Since the promotion to intermediate bronze, the overlord domineering power has been strengthened several times, and he is only one line away from breaking through. Coupled with a touch of dragon power, this group of dragon-blooded piranhas were even more frightened. The roots and legs trembled with fear, and the branches and leaves trembled. Only the leader, piranha, was not afraid and bit Yi Bai with open teeth and claws. Even if I feed you, you won't be able to bite. The domineering armed color on Yi Bai's body instantly covered, and his body turned dazzling black. Becomes harder than steel. The piranha leader bit down and shattered a few of his fangs. He was no longer fierce before, but instead he bared his teeth in pain, and he was about to run away from the roots. Now Yi Bai has the basic means to subdue other ethnic groups. Hit a mallet and give a sweet date. He threw the previously stored demon wolf meat from the space and threw it to Piranha. For you to eat, enough food, you can eat until you vomit. Last night, I hunted and killed more than 100 devil wolf meat, plus there were other lobsters and vegetables. Miners and leopard heads didn't want to eat more. But now it is used to buy piranha flowers, but there are unexpected gains. Although the piranha mutates, it has legs that can move. But after all, it is a plant, nostalgic, territorial. On weekdays, he only wanders in the white skeleton field, and the prey here have long been harmed by them. Now seeing meat from the sky, it's like I haven't smelled meat for 3 years. 100 piranhas bitten frantically, drooling all over the place. Eat more, eat more. Yi Bai waved his hand, and piles of demonic wolf meat were dropped again. He intends to beat the piranhas with sugar-coated cannonballs and let them know what the dirty tricks of capital are. This is much more terrifying than conquest by force. Watching the piranhas on the ground no longer attack, but frantically snatch food, Alice and the lucky cat looked at each other. Only the silver-scaled pangolin seemed to feel a little déjà vu. I vaguely seem to have gone through this process myself. Cannibal has been hungry for too long. After Yi Bai threw the meat equivalent to about 50 demon wolves. 100 piranhas gained an average of 3 times the weight. Not only the branches were fat, but also the shredded meat in their mouths. After eating and drinking, they will no longer see the fierceness and brutality they used to be. Instead, it looks cute and fat. The branches and leaves are swaying in the wind in the forest. The 2 tree roots and legs didn't move anymore, but they had to take root and rest in place. Would you like to have such a full meal every day? No longer need to experience the days of starvation, but worry about food and clothing, just waiting for people to feed every day. Quote. Yi Bai smiled and said to the piranha leader. In his hand, he also took out a piece of the treasured fish temptation of the king of the carp. See you in the picture. Alice thought in her heart that it was indeed the case. She found that the mine owner likes to tempt ignorant monsters with food. Then hire them as coolies. As moles, as pangolins. And soon, this group of piranhas who eat people but don't spit bones will do the same. The piranha leader had just eaten his fill. It ate the meat of 3 devil wolves alone. But the fish meat of the king of the carp is extremely delicious and exudes aura. When did it encounter such high-grade ingredients? Busy opened the blood tray and waited for the feeding. Haha, if you want to eat, you have to obey. As long as you change places and take root in the periphery of my mine. There are mountains and water, and the scenery is very good. I provide meat every day, and there are often holiday benefits. As long as the mines are attacked by foreign enemies, you can play your part and devour those enemies. Quote. Yi Bai threw the fish into the piranha's mouth. The piranha leader raised his head and ate it in one bite. The taste has not yet been experienced, and it has been swallowed along the stick. It stretched out its big tongue, and the saliva continued to flow out. As a plant, when have you tasted the river swim, it is still so delicious. Corroded by sugar-coated cannonballs, it wobbled. Shaking his head, he discussed something with the other piranhas. After a flurry of discussions, this group of piranhas walked towards Yi Bai. He raised his eyebrows, waiting for the final result. This group of aliens is rare, even if they don't agree. Yi Bai planned to knock them out one by one and transport them back to the mine. Forcibly planted by the river, do not believe that they will not move their nests. Reminder, your domineering and delicious food have conquered this group of aliens. The ferocious dragon blood man-eating flower group intends to surrender temporarily. However, they require a daily supply of food that is enough to satiate, and must be meaty. Otherwise, you have the right to leave without authorization. Agree. Yi Bai couldn't wait to reply. The strength of this group of piranhas is not bad, each of them has primary bronze strength. After using the talent, it can swallow creatures higher than himself. That leader is at the same level as a pangolin, and his talent is even more terrifying than it. With the signing of the contract between the two, the piranha flower group glowed purple. The purple light condensed into one, forming a special card. At the same time, the white soil on the ground was also radiating golden light, and it also began to condense and purify. So these piranhas can still condense cards. Does that mean their potential is stronger than pangolins? Alice asked in surprise. Congratulations on your successful acquisition of the special card, Dragon Blood Manivore Flower Guide. You can use this to move 100 piranha swarms and direct them. But please note that you are only the temporary owner and are not eligible to let the piranha die. Congratulations on successfully defeating the piranha group and gaining control of the surface of the white skeleton field. The essence of the white ashes layer condenses. You have obtained a B-level resource card, Boneland. Yi Bai reached out and took this picture book. A group of grinning, drooling purple piranhas are drawn on the illustration book, which is quite joyful. And the original piranha has not disappeared. Yi Bai felt that this was not so much a card as a proof of contract. However, this newly acquired resource card is quite strange. Boneland B-level resource card. It is the white nutrient layer formed by the accumulation of bone marrow essence after hundreds of thousands of years after the death of many primitive creatures. After use, it can turn 100 acres of fields and the territory into white. The maturity of the plant and the achievement award have been greatly improved. Quote. Note. This card can be fused with cards of the same type. One white and one black. Go back and see how the two cards merge. Yi Bai put away two cards. I saw that the layer of white soil that originally covered the ground disappeared, revealing the original brown color. At the same time, he greeted Alice, pangolins, including the piranha who had just eaten. Go underground to dig oil, and piranhas. Don't try to run away. A total of 100 flowers, each flower carries a barrel of crude oil. Quote. No bite of meat is free. The piranha, who was enjoying the good time after the meal, was enjoying the sun, and soon experienced the hardships of working as a laborer. I saw a group of people, after entering the cave along the tunnel. The silver-scaled pangolin relied on its talent to chisel and expand the export of crude oil. Let more crude oil flow out of the ground. Yi Bai and Alice worked together to collect crude oil and put them on a barrel. 100 piranhas are like laborers. With barrels of crude oil in his mouth, he brought them back to the surface. Everyone was mobilized, and even the lucky cat acted as an atmosphere group to cheer everyone up. Congratulations on your successful extraction of a barrel of crude oil. Crude oil +2, +3, +4. Hearing the sweet reminder in his ear, Yi Bai felt that everything was worth it. In the future, when you drive a minecart, you will no longer have to worry about stepping on the gas pedal and your mailbox will bottom out. And apart from these reminders, Yi Bai also saw the hard work of others. Your employee, Grandpa Jack, successfully salvaged X523 spirit stones, X7 diamonds, and X100 gins of gold nuggets. Your employees, Grandpa Martin and Grandpa Tom, successfully salvaged X823 lingxi, X2 rubies, X1 emeralds, and X50 caddies of gold sand. The moles you hired brought X750 spirit stones in total, accumulating 200 pounds of gold and X10 diamonds. The most important spiritual stone has exceeded 2,000. Go on like this, it won't take long. You can hollow out the small spirit stone mine under the river. It is only safe to place the spirit stone in the system space. Not so efficient without the help of the mole. In addition to these, other people's work in the afternoon is also very fruitful. Your newly recruited chef is busy. Zawan cooked 1,000 kilograms of violent carp king fish meat. The attributes have been strengthened, and a special effect has been added, accelerated recovery of physical strength. The purple cuckoo is grilling the kipper, and the ingredients have deteriorated. Ziju took a break from his busy schedule, went to the field to pick mung beans, and cooked some mung bean soup. The physical strength of the grandpas has begun to recover, and the negative conditions such as fatigue and hot weather have been eliminated. Grandpa Leopard Head and Drill Bit have built a 3-meter-high simple construction and are building a house. Grandpa Gourd is cultivating in the field, and he picked a watermelon to satisfy everyone's cravings. As you can see, everyone is happy. Grandpa Hulu gave me a message that he was out of gas. Several of his machines eat a lot of oil. Quote, after pumping out another barrel of crude oil, Alice suddenly reminded. Yi Bai asked in surprise. How can you contact them over the air? He remembered that this was the only spiritual connection between the Golden brothers, who could inform each other. Alice smiled embarrassedly. My grandfather's telepathy is not as strong as they are with each other, and it only works at short distances. After I go back in 2 days, I will buy some contacts, and it will be convenient at that time. Yi Bai nodded. Some simple equipment could still be used underground. He checked the time, it was almost 5 o'clock. Looking at the barrels of crude oil that covered the entire cave. And the figure of the piranha biting the crude oil and constantly busy. At least thousands of barrels of crude oil were harvested this time. After refining, there are at least 500 barrels of oil. Enough to consume for a while. So he ordered, everyone has worked hard, and started to pack up and prepare to go back. Have a good meal in the evening, and prepare for the fierce battle that will come soon. Quote. As soon as this sentence comes out, the piranha group swayed, and the visible joy overflowed. They are the first to experience the happiness of migrant workers. The harvest is perfect, not only resolving the strategic crisis, but also control the oil in your own hands, and you can mine and move oil mines at any time. Also got 2 cards. It's a pity that I didn't go to the Dragon Cave to find out. Quote. Yi Bai looked in the direction of Shuangfang Mountain with a little regret in his heart. The evolved spiritual sense is more sensitive, and he can already feel the long breathing sound that Alice mentioned before. This is the SS level super boss. Occupying the Dragon Cave and Dragon Veins, it is a pity that the feng shui treasures of this giant Dragon Mountain range are all occupied by it. It is estimated that my Yuan Tianxi advance depends on it. After the novice test period is over tomorrow, I will see if I can do some reconnaissance stuff after I return, and try it out. Quote. I'll be back as soon as tomorrow is over. Moreover, Yi Bai still had a mysterious SSS level map that he hadn't explored. At this time, it is not appropriate to do things. Yi Bai could only suppress the regret in his heart, and greeted everyone to prepare to go home. Before returning, go to the Devil's Great Rift. If there is any invincible danger, let the miners go first. I took the speed to go to the crack to see what was going on. Quote. He had a rough calculation in his mind. The validity period of the map was only valid during the 3-day trial period. If you don't go this time, you won't have a chance in a lifetime. It was already planned to take an adventure before returning. Just as the crowd kept walking down the tunnel one after another. The lucky cat beside him suddenly jumped on Yi Bai's shoulder. He patted Yi Bai's cheek with his furry claws. What's wrong? Alice turned her head suspiciously. Reminder. Kitten transformed. Lucky cat triggers adventure event. Yi Bai was overjoyed to hear the news. Stayed all afternoon, and you just found out now. Take me Kong quickly. Quote. After all, he has taken Alice into a remote cave under the guidance of Lucky Fortune. This underground cave was originally a magic spider's lair, and each cave is intricate. In addition to the spider webs everywhere, and the bones left by the devil spiders. Therefore, they were not in the mood to hunt for treasures in thousands of caves before. The lucky cat sniffs and flexibly turns around in the cave. The two carefully followed it behind and walked about a few hundred meters away. I don't know how many turns I took. If it hadn't led the way, how could it have been found? Yi Bai sighed sincerely. He looked at Alice, who was covered in gray, and asked with concern. There are a lot of cobwebs in the cave, and it's a little dirty around the body. Why don't you go up first and wait for me on the ground? Quote. Alice heard the words, smiled and declined. Her eyes gleamed in the darkness. Mine owner, you don't know, this unknown mysterious adventure. Complex terrain, terrible enemies, unknown harvest. Exactly the adventure I dreamed of growing up. If you drive me away now, it will be worse than killing me. Quote. Yi Bai scratched his head, feeling that Western girls are really outgoing. And at this moment, Yi Bai's eyes jumped, and Yuan Shen's eyes gave a reaction. Arrive, meow meow. The lucky cat stood in front of a white bone, stood up. He stretched out his claws and greeted Yi Bai to come over. This is a human skeleton that has been dead for a long time, covered with spider silk and dust. It should have been dragged down and killed by the magic spiders, and the original modeled leather armor shattered when touched. Ali observed the corpse without any fear, and suddenly her eyes lit up. Mine owner, look at what he is holding in his right hand. It seems to be a piece of parchment. Yi Bai's eyebrows twitched. Yuanshan's eyes were not affected at all in the darkness. He found the parchment held by the corpse's right hand, and he reached for it. But unexpectedly found that the skeleton's hand was very tight. Before dying. That means it's really good stuff. Dust to dust, dust to dust. I will inherit the unfinished adventure. Quote. Yi Bai exerted a little force. With a crackling sound, the skeleton dissipated. The parchment was in his hand. At the same time, there was a tinkling sound. The two of them looked at each other closely, and saw a dusty bronze key falling from the parchment package. After bouncing a few times in the cave, he lay quietly on the ground. Where did this key come from? Yi Bai picked up the key that was held tightly before death and was curious. At the same time, he carefully looked at the parchment in his hand. Because of the influence of the human skin paper last time, there is a slight shadow in my heart. This time, through the touch of my fingers, I confirm that this is parchment paper. That said, the map given by Alexander is really human skin. Mysterious bronze key. The material is special, it exists for more than 10,000 years, and it is difficult to destroy. I don't know if it was the key to open that mysterious door or treasure chest. Many people have obtained it, and after research, they have not been able to discover the secret. Quote. Note. According to legend, there are 7 mysterious keys that will never be damaged in this underground world. Named after black iron, bronze, and silver, respectively. It's too metaphysical. It seems to be the key prop to unlock some hidden plot. The problem is that the sea is vast, to find the right keyhole. How hard it is. Quote. Yi Bai shook his head while studying the bronze key. He casually handed the key to Alice for study. Then I looked at the parchment paper. Since the upgrade, the identification technique of Yuan Shenyan gave a lot of information. It is estimated that upgrading to the peak can return to the source. Underground map of Giant Dragon Mountain Range. It is said that this mountain range was transformed by the fall of a giant dragon in the legendary realm. An adventurer drew this map before he died. It leads to the deepest dragon's lair in the mountains, great treasure. Quote. Yi Bai's eyelids jumped when he saw it. Legend, this is the closest realm to a god. He studied the parchment carefully. Through the talent of Master Yuan Tian, one can discover the intricate passages and ley lines transformed by the parchment. Exactly where you are now. And the destination at the center of the map is marked with a dangerous dragon. That's where the dragon's cave is. Reminder. Congratulations on your successful discovery of a secret passage leading to the SS-level dragon cave. Please proceed with caution. Sure enough, this is the hidden channel. The place that the super boss didn't even know about extended from the underground crack to the deepest part of the dragon cave. Yi Bai's heart skipped a beat, and his heart was both tangled and nervous. I originally planned to leave and make this mess for him. To go or not to go? Mine owner, do you want to go to the dragon cave to see? Alice handed him the bronze key and guessed what Yi Bai was thinking. Yi Bai nodded. Since there is a secret passage, it would be a pity to go there. I'm just going to watch and see if I can wait for the opportunity to do something good. The boss there is sleeping. As long as it doesn't wake up, everything will be fine. Quote. As for Alice, first bring pangolins and piranhas. Waiting for me some distance away from the white skeleton field, I went to take a look at the lucky charm. No more than an hour or so, come back immediately. Quote. Yi Bai shoved the lucky cat into his arms despite the protest of the beckoning cat. Bringing it over is naturally to increase luck and add some European energy. Alice is full of adventurous spirit, and would like to go and touch the dragon's beard together. But if Yi Bai is alone, without scruples, it can be elementalized, and it can be transformed into light to escape. Therefore, she was sternly rejected, and she was made to stand on the ground. Mine owner big brother, please take me to see the dragon cave. My talent may be able to help you. Quote. Alice resorted to the trick of being cute, but Yi Bai still refused. It's not now if I want to help, I'm just going to try it out this time, and I'll leave at the touch of a button. Be good, don't be capricious. Quote. No way. When returning to the crypt, the two parted ways. One rides up on a pangolin, and the other goes down with a cat. In the dark cave, Yi Bai crawled forward with the cat. It has been more than 10 minutes since he and Alice were separated, and at least they have crawled for thousands of meters. Moreover, the passages are winding, and the terrain is becoming more and more complicated. At the narrowest point, only children can pass. Thanks to Yi Bai's ability to elementalize, he chose a part of his body to transform into light, so that he could pass through. Speaking of making money, this parchment won't get old and out of date, will it? Yi Bai muttered. As for being stuck underground and unable to escape, Yi Bai wasn't worried. After all, he is also an apprentice Yuan Tianxi, and he has the pulse of the talented earth. I feel like a duck to water in this ground, and I feel that my state is obviously better by 3 points. The closer you get to the dragon cave, the clearer the coercion. A long, heavy breathing came closer. One person and one cat are a little nervous. And when they were only a few hundred meters away from the dragon cave, a stream of water vapor escaped in the air, and the surrounding soil was obviously much moister. Arrive. After climbing another passage, the eyes lit up, in an underground space only half the size of a basketball court. A small pool is in the middle. And it is this pool that is interconnected with an underground lake in the dragon cave. In the next period of time, you should not make a sound easily. Just hit me with anything. Quote, Yi Bai stood in front of the pool. After carefully observing the surroundings, I found a trace of dragon energy wafting out of the pool. Even the surrounding ore has changed into a rare ore. At this time, Yi Bai was not in the mood to collect these materials. Instead, he was preparing to enter the water and used a clover by the way. He first reread the parchment, remembering the distance from the pool to the underground lake. Then remember the location of the dense tunnels around. Then spray a scent-eliminating stealth grass juice on your body. This special plant was discovered by Alice in the forest not long ago. Better than nothing, I planted some on the farmland. Didn't expect it to come in handy now. After some preparation, Yi Bai took a deep breath and cautiously jumped into the pool with a lucky charm. Serious warning. You have entered the SS level difficulty, where the dragon cave is located. This is not a map that you can explore with your current strength, please retreat as soon as possible. A red reminder appeared on his panel. Yi Bai turned a deaf ear, held his breath and moved on. The entrance to the pool is still very narrow. The deeper you go, the more you can feel the vastness of the underground river. And when Yi Bai swims in it, also found a kind of baby fish with long beard and golden body. They are docile by nature, huddled together. Curiously looked at Yi Bai, the stranger. Golden arowana, a goldfish mutated by absorbing dragon energy. The meat is extremely delicious, and the taste is unmatched in the world. Has a variety of special effects, such as the treatment of internal injuries. Accelerate the recovery of physical and mental strength, increase potential, etc. It is a rare treasure, and it is strongly recommended to capture it. Quote, Yi Bai also wanted to catch him, but the problem was that he couldn't throw away the watermelon for sesame seeds. However, the lucky cat in his arms came out, and when he saw the golden dragon fish, he was very excited. I want to fish, but I don't have enough energy. Fortunately, it can hold its breath in the water. Yi Bai's fruit ability doesn't have much effect in water. After all, this is not the seawater of pirates, and there is no sea stone material. Reminder. You have found precious ore, dragon suction stone. Reminder. You found a super large gold nugget weighing more than 1,000 pounds. Reminder. You have found a high-grade large spiritual stone, and the ore exceeds the sum of 1,000 small spiritual stones. Reminder. You have discovered a new species, crystal glass fish. ... A whole bunch of messages popped up. Among them, the crystal glazed fish has a transparent body. Even the internal organs can be seen clearly, and its edible effect is no worse than that of arowana. But he refused one by one, not even seeing the underground gems that were readily available. Until he heard this voice. Congratulations on your lucky explosion, you accidentally discovered a medium-sized magic crystal mine in an underground lake. The S-rank resource card, Dragon Crystal Magic Mine, can be condensed here. Magic Crystal. This is an extraordinary resource that opens the curtain of a new era, like a spirit stone. If the spirit stone is more used in the human body, in evolution, it tends to be more stable and extraordinary input. Then the magic crystal is stronger and more chaotic. Often used as an energy source, used in large machines, or used as a material for casting spells. And at the bottom of this lake, a medium-sized magic crystal mine was buried directly. Through the mud, Yi Bai could vaguely see the charming luster reflected by the magic crystals. This is a great wealth that even big countries should be moved by. Calm down, S-rank resource cards are not so easy to get. There must be a guardian beast. When the time comes, it will make a move. Wake up the super boss, and the fun will be big. Quote. When Yi Bai was swimming in the underground lake, he was surprised to find that there are mostly small schools of fish here. Logically, in a place with such abundant spiritual energy, there should be several great lake monsters. There was a vague conjecture in his mind. According to the description of the dragon mouse, this big boss has a great appetite. Since the underground lake is in his home, the threatening large lake monster must be eaten. It's just these little fish and shrimps that haven't grown up, and they don't have enough space between their teeth, so they let them go. Quote. It's cheap. Yi Bai, all the way through production without hindrance. It didn't take long to see the exit. He floated up cautiously, holding his breath. In my heart, I meditate on the source technique recorded by Master Yuan Tian. Infuse your breath into the earth. There were fish swimming past him, but he didn't notice it. Cuckoo. A small, inconspicuous bubble rose from the underground lake, causing no sound in the dark cave. A dark shadow slowly floated up from the lake. Walk into this cave like a shadow. Yi Bai restrained his spirit, held his breath and held his breath. I unexpectedly discovered another function of the glittering fruit. It can also be turned into black light, which greatly weakens the sense of existence, and is inconspicuous like a shadow. Serious warning. You have entered the SS level map, Dragon Cave. The red reminder did not bring any pressure to Yi Bai. He carefully observed the surroundings. A deafening snoring sound was clearly heard in his ears. It is well known to the public. When sleeping, the purring is regular. And about to wake up, the snoring is messy. Yi Bai only dared to look at other places with his divine eyes. This seems to be a super karst cave created by nature, with several blood-red medicinal herbs growing next to it. And the spirit stones that are scattered aside. Reminder. You have found a precious medicinal material, dragon's blood grass. It can be used as the main ingredient to make dragon blood medicine, and can be transferred to special occupations, dragon blood warrior. Yi Bai didn't dare to act rashly, and quietly counted how many dragon blood grasses were around him. Not much, only 9 in total. But it is these 9 plants, 1 billion sky-high price. He has seen this precious medicinal material in textbooks. There is a price but no market. There was an auction on the black market before. Finally, it was sold at a sky-high price of 1.88 billion. The 9 plants here represent the ability to create 9 dragon blood warriors. This kind of background, it is estimated that even those super consortiums will shake. And in the middle of the 9 dragon blood grasses, it has a blood-red fruit that looks like a dragon ball. The fragrant fragrance it exudes makes every cell of Yi Bai long for it. The beckoning cat, shivering in his arms, also ventured its head out. 9 dragon fruits for repairing the sky, extremely rare, even in dragon caves everywhere. Basically, it is possible to produce a 9 dragon fruit next to 10,000 dragon blood grass. Its medicinal effects are not limited to dragon-type creatures. Any creature that eats it can be traced back to its origin. Excavate the power of the ancient ancestors from the bloodline to make up for the regrets of the day after tomorrow. It doesn't directly improve your strength, but it can make you go longer in evolution. Special effects. Atavism, mending the sky. Quote, 1 person and 1 cat's heart was about to beat, but they were forcibly suppressed. Here, you can't even have the sound of a heartbeat. Sure enough, I haven't seen the main lord yet. Seeing so rare. Be sure to pick this fruit before going back. Quote, Yi Bai noticed that the left and right sides of Julong Budiangwo seemed to be specially cooked by someone. The skeletons of some extremely powerful monsters were buried on the ground to add nutrients to them. It can be seen that the original owner here also knows the goods. Intentionally cultivate this fruit. Or, is it going to keep it for itself? Yi Bai moved in his heart and continued to explore. As for the broken spirit stones under his feet, he didn't even look at them the same. Even if there are extremely high-quality top-grade spirit stones in it. Chapter 51. This dragon cave looks like a super cave, far bigger than Yi Bai thought. The height of the cave is dozens of meters, and the surrounding stone walls are of special material. There are several majestic stalactites hanging at the top, as well as dense high-grade crystals as chandeliers. Some scattered plants on the ground are rare treasures that are rarely seen in the outside world. At the same time, as Yi Bai slowly and deeply explores, a wisp of golden light emanated from the depths of the dragon cave. He seemed to smell the copper stench of money. Yi Bai groped carefully, the corners of his eyes drifted to the source of the golden light. Always intend to close your eyes to prevent seeing what you shouldn't see, so as not to startle the snake. What I saw slowly entering my eyes were gold coins scattered all over the place. It is piled up like a mountain of gold, and it stretches with no end in sight. No wonder it's so golden. The golden mountain, which is dozens of meters high, is occasionally interspersed with gems of various colors, including emeralds, opals, and rubies. The gold coins here are all refined and engraved with special cultural imprints. In terms of price alone, it is different from underground gold. At the same time, the super boss that Yi Bai is afraid of is the dragon that sees the beginning but not the end. Yi Bai listened carefully to the source of the breathing sound, and was sure that it was sleeping in the golden mountain. In a trance, he floated to a bright red dragon tail with a fiery flame at the end. Most of the dragon's tail is covered in gold coins. Even a hint of it made Yi Bai's heart tremble. Quickly looked away and didn't dare to look any further. All creatures with a high degree of evolution are very sensitive in spirit. Especially when you find someone watching you, it is very easy to wake up. Yi Bai completely controlled his blood flow and beating. In the shop just now, Appraisal gives a rough answer. Name: the red-winged demon dragon of evil. Race: Asian red dragon. The strongest dragon species among the 5 colored dragons is being atavistically purified. Level: top platinum minor. Skills: evil dragon roar, death flame, dragon breath, dragon language magic, hurricane flame dragon. Description: I don't know the young dragon that broke out of the dragon egg. By chance, he descended to the giant dragon mountain range, and with his racial talent, he occupied this dragon cave, absorbing the dragon veins and dragon essence of this place all year round. Improve power by sleeping, and make dragon balls every day. Incomparable to human beings, even among the top powerhouses at the same level. If you are an adult, your strength is even more terrifying. Just being a minor is already top platinum. Yi Bai's heart almost jumped. At present, I am full of calculations, and I am only at the level of intermediate bronze. Even if it is invincible at the same level, how many major levels are there? At best, it can only compete with top silver, but these are all 3 major orders. Even 100 Yi Bais are useless. Elementalization can't stand the dragon's breath with such a big difference. It turned out to be SS level danger. There are gaps between each class. What's more, the Asian red dragon is the top race. The evolution level from low to high is black iron, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond. As for the latter, it is a strategic level legend. There are holy orders, epics, legends that exist in one person and one country, as well as the legendary true god with infinite lifespan. In the 100 years since the underground world appeared, there has not been a single true god in human civilization. Some people say that the first person to become a god will become the king of mankind and rule the 2 worlds. These are far from Yi Bai. He looked around. I just don't know which of the 2 overlords, the red-winged demon dragon of evil and the prehistoric emperor dragon crocodile, is more powerful. Recalling the prestige that the 2 played, Yi Bai vaguely felt that the ginger was still old and spicy. The emperor dragon crocodile, which occupies the mainstream of the super river, is even better, but the other party has lived for 1,000 years. The potential of a single round is, of course, that the red-winged demon dragon is stronger. These are too far from Yi Bai. He raised his head. I saw an ancient dragon ball floating above the golden mountain. Below the dragon ball, 2 huge nostrils are showing and breathing slowly. Yi Bai didn't dare to read more, just glanced at the dragon ball information. Legendary Dragon Ball, the most precious treasure on a dragon's body, condenses the essence of one body. At present, it has been integrated with the natal Dragon Ball of the red-winged demon dragon to promote evolution. There are all kinds of magical effects: youth is not old, prolong life, rejuvenate, transfer to dragon, improve territory, and so on. It is a rare treasure in the ground. Quote, "This is not the baby Yi Bai can get at the moment." He quietly kept away from the Golden Mountain, not wanting to take a single gold coin. Instead, they choose to find other treasures in the dragon's lair. Yi Bai knew in his heart, you only have one shot at it. Whether you succeed or not, you have to jump into the lake to escape. After careful investigation in the dragon cave, Yi Bai was under great psychological pressure. Moreover, he held his breath, his heartbeat, and he was under the dragon's prestige at close range. He didn't realize that the domineering arrogance hidden in him was rapidly changing. Now all his heart is on the treasure hunt. There are many good things. Even in the corner, the dragon dung piled up like a hill is a rare super fertilizer. Yi Bai was also surprised to find that it was rated as an A-level fertilizer card, Dragon Dung Transport. Just as the old saying goes, the giant dragon is Letuo Shang, a rare treasure. But Yi Bai is not very interested in other people's baba. He prefers babes that promote evolution. There are many precious medicinal materials here. Even the priceless top spirit crystals and adult-sized high-quality magic crystals have many pieces. You must know that some new aircraft carriers use a piece of this material as a power source. A piece of energy that can support an aircraft carrier for 5 years. One can imagine its value. But the rarest one is the 9 dragons patching sky fruit. And just as he swept through the many herbs, his eyelids suddenly jumped. Derived from the intuition of Master Yuantian, he from a pile of precious medicinal materials. I saw an inconspicuous plant, like a corn stalk. The surface is bare and the nutrition is unbalanced, like a strange plant that has not sprouted. What is this? The identification technique soon gave the answer. Golden dragon tooth rice. It is said that it is the food of the ancient dragon, suitable for the dragon of the east and the dragon of the west. It was already extinct, but I didn't expect to find a single seedling here. The requirements for soil quality are very high, and gold is used for fertilizers. After planting, the resulting rice grains are golden in color. A grain of rice is a meter high. Eat it, instantly restore physical and mental strength, heal dark wounds. Year-round consumption can break the limitations of the biological itself and fundamentally improve the potential of the race. After winning, you can condense the S-rank special staple card, Golden Dragon Tooth Rice. Quote, when he saw the eye-catching S-class, special staple food, Yi Bai knew in his heart that this trip was right. This is a treasure that can change the heritage of a family and affect the fortune of the country. Cards are agglomerations of law fragments, which can be divided into different types. In addition to the legendary world card, Golden Dragon Tooth Rice is definitely the most precious special shape. Gold miners, including Yi Bai himself. There will be more employees in the future, and their daily work is physical work. If the staple food is not good, what should I do? 20 kilometers of territory, 2 fertilizer cards, the congenital conditions are already excellent. Now it is even more complete in one step, even if the grain is overproduced in the future. Sell it out a little bit, and the whole market will go crazy. Yi Bai made up his mind to get the Golden Dragon Tooth Rice. And importantly, this single seedling looks so simple in front of the rare species that are blooming with flowers. At least not as eye-catching as dragon blood grass. It is estimated that this dragon does not know the food of the ancestors himself, or he has become a bear commander because of starvation. He boldly approached this long tooth rice that looked like a corn stalk. His right hand touched it lightly. Charge, receiving Golden Dragon Tooth Rice. A red progress bar saw his eyelids twitching, lest something change happen. He also doesn't know how sensitive the boss that has evolved to the top platinum is. I can only hope that my own source ability is strong enough. The progress bar went for a full minute, but it made Yi Bai live like a year, when the voice like the sound of nature remembered. He finally breathed a sigh of relief and wiped the cold sweat that didn't exist on his forehead. Congratulations on your successful collection of ancient relics, Golden Dragon Tooth Rice. Congratulations on your successful acquisition of an S-rank special card. This is the first S-rank that Yi Bai got, so special. With the guaranteed harvest, Yi Bai's mind relaxed a little. But keep wandering for a while. Because he is currently in the periphery of the Dragon Cave. Therefore, he did not find much of the most precious dragon heritage. It should have been hidden by the red-winged demon dragon in the Gold Coin Mountain. After a long time, Yi Bai, who has been searching for fruitless, wants to leave with the fruit of the patch. At the end, I quietly ask the baby in my arms. Baby, use your invincible sense of smell. Help me find something good. Remember not to sniff the things in Jinshan. Even if there is, we can't take it away. Quote. After the lucky cat arrived at the dragon's lair, it was motionless, as quiet as death. Hearing the master's call, he opened his eyes complainingly and glanced at Yi Bai. The amber golden pupils are full of grievances, and there is a very human expression on his face. When you need it, call it baby, and when you don't use it, call it a cat. However, Lucky still secretly guided a certain direction in Yi Bai's arms. It is extremely sensitive to certain things. He has always helped Yi Bai a lot. Of course, he believed, if the gem dragon mouse is here, it should be able to evacuate the entire dragon cave. Even a drop of dragon blood buried 3 feet in the ground could not escape its nose. But give it 10 courage, and dare not touch gold here. Very close to Jinshan, 5 meters away from the exposed super dragon tail. A mysterious corner, obscured by dust and gold coins. There is an inconspicuous white jade pillar buried in dust. It is as thick as a person's arms and 2 meters in length, making it doubtful what it is. The identification technique soon gave the answer. Legendary white jade dragon tooth, legendary material, you can use it as the main material. Creating a legendary weapon is the strongest level below the divine weapon. The ability to break the defense includes the legendary super defense power, and it comes with the camera of Longwei. Even if it is not forged, the material body of a single wheel is extremely precious. Quote. That's it. Unexpectedly, such a thick white jade column turned out to be a dragon's fangs. With it as a weapon, Yi Bai's combat power has risen by at least another level. In the face of a big boss with a high level difference and strong defense, at least he has the ability to break defense. This is a watershed. If you can break the defense, it means that you can wear off a drop of blood. This distance is a bit dangerous, and there is only one chance to shoot. Don't wake him up. Quote. Just as Yi Bai carefully squatted down and touched the white jade pillar with his hand. The lucky cat in his arms suddenly trembled abnormally. Instantly shocked, Yi Bai's movements froze, motionless. The air is terribly quiet. In the darkness, only the golden light reflected from the mountain of gold coins dazzled. Most of the red-winged dragon was sleeping in the gold coins, and the dragon flame at the tail was very close to Yi Bai. He could feel the poisonous temperature of the dragon flame. The dragon's breathing was smooth, and there was no sign of awakening. Just when Yi Bai was wondering, he found that Zhao Kai was secretly scratching his left side with his claws in his arms. The corner of his eyes looked down at the lower left corner slightly. I saw dozens of centimeters away from the dragon tooth, in the scattered gold coin parcels. There is a very inconspicuous hexagonal scale. Dragon's inverse scale, legendary items, only one can be collected from a dragon. The only special effect, 3 times for death. Fully defend against legendary, and any death attack below legendary. After 3 times, the inverse scales are crushed. Quote. Yi Bai, the legendary life-saving artifact. He has read poetry and books, but he has never seen the introduction of Ni scale in textbooks and materials. It does have the same type of life-saving props, but never seen so advanced. At most, it is at the gold level. Even so, it is sold for a sky-high price. The buyer is the leader of a country. With it, Yi Bai dared to jump in the center of the nuclear explosion. However, the acquisition conditions of the inverse scales are also very difficult. First of all, they are too inconspicuous. Secondly, it is mixed with gold coins. If you want to take it out first, the first thing to do is to move the coins. And now, the distance from the red-winged demon dragon is only 4 or 5 meters away. The heat of the tail flame can be felt. The thunder-like heartbeat is still in my ears, and the suppression from the high-level blood makes my heart numb. Yi Bai squatted down and twisted his fingers. Select move coins. He didn't dare to move with energy, because dragons are extremely sensitive to magical energy. Wealth and danger seek, fight. The movement of a few gold coins is very simple, but if you want to avoid making a little sound, especially in the 2 moments of picking up and putting it down, it is too dangerous. The double clang is absolutely deadly. Yi Bai hesitated to do it, but it didn't take long. Soon the right moment came. I saw water droplets from scattered stalactites on the top of the underground lake. The ticking sounds are regular, on average every 5 minutes. Yi Bai spent 15 minutes and moved 3 gold coins. Finally able to face the reverse scale. The inverse scale is the most precious scale on the dragon's body, as thin as a cicada's wing. But at the last moment when Yi Bai's fingers were about to touch the reverse scale, suddenly, like a marquee, a terrifying picture flashed in his mind. When touching the inverse scale, the domineering arrogance of oneself will confront and merge with the remaining dragon soul fragments on it. The domineering will be promoted to the intermediate level. But the domineering arrogance that overflows during the breakthrough will spread to the entire dragon cave. At the end of the picture, he saw a dragon tail lit with demonic flames sweeping like an Optimus Prime. Moment. Yi Bai stopped his fingers. There seemed to be a reminder sound in his ear, but he didn't have time to see it. I don't know why this image suddenly popped into my mind. His mind was running at the speed of light, guessing the most reasonable solution. In an instant, he made a decision. He took out the beckoning cat, and under the cat's terrified eyes, he held it up to the sky above the scales. Wei Wei gestured with her eyes. Raise a cat for 1,000 days, but use a cat for a while. It's time for you to serve the mine. Quote, Yi Bai silently praised himself in his heart. I'm a genius, thinking of the best solution in 1,000th of a second. There are dragon soul fragments left on the reverse scale, and touching it by yourself will arouse a domineering instinctive reaction. So why not ask another person to take it? The flexibility of cats is well known. In particular, he is a hero among cats. But it was under a lot of pressure now, staring at the master with wide eyes from the innocent Kazlan, and his whole body was fried. The underground evil dragon was beside him, and Lucky was suffocated from his blood. Still, it did the job well. I saw Lucky's fluffy paws stretched out. It is extremely slight, and the inverse scale is picked up without a trace of sound. And at the moment of hand, the air in the dragon cave suddenly changed. The long breathing sound changed rapidly, and it seemed that he had sensed any subtle changes around him. Under the axe, a picture of the future flashed in Yi Bai's mind again. 10 seconds later, the red-winged dragon was completely sushing, and the flames swept by the dragon's tail erupted indiscriminately around it. Force yourself to the scene and face the wrath of the dragon. Can't delay any longer. Yi Bai got goosebumps and could not hide it. Quickly threw the lucky charm into the clothes, being careful not to come into direct contact with the reverse scales. The next moment, the right hand touched Bai Yuju like electricity. Charge. The white jade dragon tooth is not a card, but a simple material. It disappeared in less than a second. And obviously, the disappearance of such a big guy is still beside the dragon. The things that I used to use as toothpicks are often gone. The dazed red-winged dragon finally knew that he was in hell. Quick Su Xing from a long sleep. Su Xing, which was originally 9 seconds, accelerated to less than 5 seconds. That is, Yi Bai is not greedy, but is just sneaking around in the corners. If he comes up and stares at Dragon Ball, any baby who has stared at this dragon's destiny for a long time, it woke up instantly, and now, just in its instinct, realized something was wrong, but don't know where the problem comes from. I feel that I have no treasures, but my heart is empty. The greedy red-winged dragon branded every gold coin. Whenever someone takes one away, it will wake up instantly. Yi Bai, who took the white jade dragon tooth in his hand, no longer lingered, his body turned into a black light. Quickly flee towards the underground lake inside. At this time, he also deliberately hides his body. But it doesn't matter anymore, with the magic dragon Su Xing. The gold coin mountain trembled for a while, and the dragon cave seemed to be raining gold coins, which was very dazzling. Dang Dang's falling gold coins resounded throughout the cave. Hold head high. A low voice like thunder appeared, and the raging flames burned, indiscriminately burning everything around. And now 4 seconds have passed. Yi Bai was approaching the underground lake while he was running wildly. He felt the heat behind him. Something smells in. The red-winged dragon's eyes opened from the gold coins, and the gold coins fell from the head with a clanging clang. He swiped his tail. He suddenly turned his head to look at where the tail was, and felt that there seemed to be a slight change in there. But I slept too long. There was no reaction in my mind for a while, because my toothpick was missing. That's too late. At the last second, when passing by the 9 dragon blood grass and the 9 dragon fruit, Yi Bai did not stop at all, but instead accelerated, like a ray of light into the lake. But he didn't even notice. At the moment when it intersected with the fruit, a black shadow flashed by. Yi Bai knows that he can be stable until now. It depends on not being greedy, keeping the green hills and not afraid of running out of firewood. After the big deal, he will rise up, drive the dragon out, and be the master of the house. It's really exciting to run after stealing. Boom. There was a faint sound of water entering the lake, as well as bursts of ripples. The little movement here has not been concealed from the master here. The red-winged dragon finally realized that something was wrong, and leaned down. Nose sniffed from the end. Smelling everything along Yi Bai's road, he turned his attention to the innermost lake in the dragon cave. Could it be that some fool slipped in? The red-winged dragon may be thinking of some small animals living underground, but it is not sure whether a burglar has entered the house. Next moment, its eyes shrank suddenly, only to see that it is often handled by itself on weekdays. The bright red fruit that absorbed the enemy's fertilizer disappeared. And this is related to the progress of its bloodline purification. Ang, who is it? Which thief entered my lair? Quote. The red-winged dragon roared suddenly, spread its wings, soaring out of the mountain of gold coins. Flames erupted all over the body, and dragon breath suddenly spewed out of the mouth, covering the entire dragon cave. For a while, the dragon's lair turns into a fiery hell. Whenever there is an outsider, it will be burned out and destroyed in an instant. But at this moment Yi Bai had already passed through the underground river and swam a few hundred meters. I don't know where I ran to the underground corner. Yi Bai, who ran into the underground river, heard a roar within seconds. But once you enter the water, it is beyond the control of the dragon. The situation in the water is complicated, with turbulent currents flowing east and west. Who knows where it will go? Yi Bai had already arranged a retreat before. In the water, it turned into a wave of light and quickly disappeared. Even the spirit stones and magic crystals at the bottom of the river are not in the mood to pick them up. Get rich, get rich. As expected of wealth and danger, just touching it is enough for me to eat for a lifetime. There is also a whole mountain of gold coins inside, plus other treasure chest jewels. I will hollow out this dragon cave later. Quote. Running very fast for a long distance, Yi Bai resurfaced and ran in the passage without stopping, flying all the way to the surface far away from the dragon's lair. Along the way, he also used the ability of the earth to pulsate to destroy the tunnels he passed along the way. Make sure no clues are left behind. In other words, I didn't steal much treasure from him, just a tooth and a scale. Then again, is this what it is? Not also lucky to occupy. Quote. If the Dragon Ball is really moved, it is expected that it will be burned into magma within a radius of 10 miles. I am afraid that the gold mines will be burned. After running for several kilometers and earning hundreds of corners, Yi Bai, who got out of the ground from another corner, breathed a sigh of relief. It was exactly 1800 now, exactly an hour after he went to the Dragon Cave. I think Alice and the others are anxiously waiting. It was already dark, and the bright moonlight shone on Yi Bai's face, full of joy. It's stable, and at this time, he had time to count the harvest a little. But before he opened the panel and looked up the message record just now, what came first was the deafening world announcement. World announcement. Congratulations to the gold miner Yi Bai for successfully challenging the SS level critical map, Dragon's Den. Escape without being noticed by the super boss red-winged demon dragon. Clearance without injury. The whole body has undergone a baptism, and the soul has transformed. And won the S-rank special food card, Golden Dragon Tooth Rice. In order to reward his supreme adventure courage, we will be rewarded with an unlimited skill upgrade scroll. This deafening sound awakened everyone who had just put down the tools. On the second day, everyone harvested a lot, just look at the wealth list to know. But the recognized biggest winner. Naturally, it was Yi Bai whose wealth kept growing from morning to afternoon. Coupled with several previous world announcements, as well as the gains from knowing only a few words, it is envious of others. Now come up with this one, and successfully pass the SS level map. What concept does this represent? Anyway, I haven't heard anyone say that someone went to the SS level map to die. The difficulty is estimated to be equivalent to a person surviving in the center of a nuclear explosion. What's more, it passed without injury. Also brought out a special S-rank card. This is not only what good luck and ability can represent, but a comprehensive test of personal ability. Miracle. Miracle like heaven. 100 years of history, the highest record is that someone has passed through an S-level dangerous place. Even so, Half-Life was lost. Now the legend is all around us. Our gold digger has a legend. Quote, before someone satirized that Boss Yi was the lucky one who would soon be submerged in the tide of capital. Now who dares to say that his strength and wisdom are not strong? You go, if you have the ability, you go to Longtan Tiger Den. Quote. This announcement completely ignited the channel. Like a nuclear bomb exploded in people's hearts. Let the gold diggers who have worked hard for a day have a heated discussion, and many gold diggers in the Yan Kingdom are proud and honored. Other foreign gold diggers are complicated. SS level map, representing no resistance. And listening to the name, there is also a super dragon. Is this something that can be done by humans? What is needed is not only fearless courage, but also wisdom and adaptability. Niu, I didn't expect such a legend to appear in our batch. It seems that after tomorrow, I'm going to dig you in reality. Haha, I am a state-owned enterprise with strong capital. How are you, little big brother? Have you considered eating soft rice? Quote. Mu Lingwei bubbled up in the chat room and sent congratulations. He also curiously asked how he got into the SS level dragon cave. A red dragon at the top platinum level can be regarded as the number one overlord if placed in a radius of 10,000 miles. The dragon's cave is full of dangers, hundreds of meters of gold coins are piled up into mountains. There are also dragon blood grass and dragon beard fruit everywhere, which is really scary. Quote. Yi Bai replied to Mu Lingwei like this. With lingering fears in his tone, he continued. In the end, I took Longya Mi and fled a few kilometers away. The red dragon was still setting fire in the dragon's lair, and his temper was too grumpy. Quote. Forehead. Everyone didn't react to Yi Bai's Versailles quote for a while. Some people who knew the details of the level, saw the magic dragon level revealed by Yi Bai, and their hearts suddenly trembled. He asked, the magic dragon of top platinum. How could you escape? Bronze rank and platinum rank differ by 3 major ranks, I am afraid that someone will blow you down with one breath. And hearing him talk about the baby in the dragon cave, many people came to the spirit. Who doesn't love watching adventures and then picking up big treasures? More and more people have been asking about how much wealth the dragon has, even if the baby is killed. What else did he get out of it? Yi Bai laughed and boasted about his heroic figure in the dragon cave. It is also a battle of wits and courage with the magic dragon, and it is also a trick to turn the tiger away from the mountain. Again, he sent his younger brother to steal the house, and he joined forces to find other bosses to attack the dragon cave. Wait till the end. Everyone felt that he was about to become the dragon slayer in the adventure story. Of course Yi Bai won't tell the truth, after satisfying a sense of accomplishment. Satisfied, he took the lucky cat out of his arms. Come on, baby, take a look at the biggest gains of this trip. My 3 lives. Quote. As a result, the next moment, Yi Bai looked at Zhao Kai with a look of astonishment. I saw the lucky cat holding an inverse scale in one hand and a vermilion red in the other. It is vaguely like the fruit formed by the entanglement of 9 dragons. This is exactly the 9 dragons patching fruit that Yi Bai regretted not getting before. Good guy, I just happened to regret missing it. You actually got it. Quote. Yi Bai was greatly surprised. The situation was tense at the time, and he could only run for his life. It was expected that the lucky eye was quick, and he actually caught it. No wonder the red-winged demon dragon is so angry at the back. It turns out that there is no fruit. There is no regret in this harvest. Yi Bai happily took stock of his trip to steal home. 4 treasures were brought out from the dragon's cave. The quantity is not much, but it is precious. S-grade golden dragon tooth rice, white jade dragon tooth, inverse scale, and 9 dragon fruit. Among them, the inverse scales are the most precious. It symbolizes 3 lives and can ignore any forbidden spell below the god level. In addition, the world has just rewarded a scroll. Unlimited skill upgrade scroll, special items rewarded by the world. After use, you can improve any of your skills by 1 level. Ignore the threshold. Quote, in order to maximize the benefits of this scroll, it stands to reason that it should be used in the later stage. Wait until your own talent is stuck at the highest level and can't break through for a long time. Once again, the breakthrough is complete. But Yi Bai is just fighting for the day and the props are left in his hands. Of course, it is used immediately and transformed into combat power. Or keep it for others to make wedding dresses. When Yi Bai was opening the panel and looking at a bunch of message records that popped up just now. Suddenly, like being struck by lightning, the town was in place. Reminder: congratulations on the transformation of your soul under the oppression of life and death. Spiritual strength is greatly improved. Stimulate the potential, successfully awaken the domineering and domineering. Yi Bai was instantly ecstatic, he had all the 3 domineering pirates. The future picture obtained when picking up the reverse scale before. Is it the role of arrogance? This will prevent yourself from overturning. The effect of seeing and hearing domineering is too strong. For battles and adventures, it is especially above the domineering of armed colors. He quickly checked the domineering details. Advanced domineering because of his own unique talent, he was awakened under the suppression of Longwei and obtained high-level domineering. Already have functions. Predict attack, perceive the enemy's position, strength, intention, foresee the future. Foreseeing the future is temporarily unstable, sometimes ineffective, and sometimes useful. If you foresee the future 100%, you will be promoted to the top of the top. Quote, rejoice and rejoice. I didn't expect that either. I didn't wake up, and when I woke up, it was a high-level experience. Yi Bai even wanted to use the unlimited scroll right away, and boosted it to the top in one go. Calm down, go back and sort out what you got. Thinking of improving that skill. Now meet Alice first, she should be in a hurry. Quote, Yi Bai took a deep breath. I was planning to put the fortune back in. Unexpectedly, the other party began to eat the sky-boosting fruit one by one. Yi Bai almost had high blood pressure. Reminder: your pet lucky cat is stealing the Kowloon butterfly fruit. The special effect atavism is in effect. The lucky cat is evolving. The 2 mouths of Butiangguo are gone. And the lucky cat is also undergoing transformation. The original pure white hair instantly changes appearance. It meows in pain, and its whole body is tired. Even so, he has not forgotten what the master entrusted to him. Tightly hold the reverse scale and do not let go. Yi Bai is a heartache and a heavenly fruit, and a heartache and cat pain. After picking it up carefully, he complained. Let you steal it, now you know it's bad for your stomach. It is not advisable to stay here for a long time, the magic dragon is looking for a thief. Yi Bai stepped on both legs. The whole person turned into a beam of light and disappeared in place. As soon as he moved, he keenly felt the strength of his control over his body. Even with the speed increased by 3 points, only then did Yi Bai know the benefits of strong spiritual power. He took time to look at his mental power, the value has exceeded 200. And the normal high-level bronze is only 100. There is great terror between life and death, but also great opportunity. However, I often experience this kind of life and death, and my little heart can't stand it. Quote, often walking by the river, how can there not be wet shoes? This time, I was still dipped in the European spirit of making money. Otherwise, if you awaken the Overlord in the Dragon Cave, the fun will be great. Seeing and hearing or restrained and silent. The Overlord color is domineering. The place where Yi Bai drilled out is also the Giant Dragon Mountain Range. And he also has a general understanding of Alice and their positions. At extreme speed, within 10 minutes, a group of piranhas were seen swaying. Among the flowers, Alice was waiting anxiously. Didn't you say 1 hour? Big brother is a big liar, just fooling me. It's getting dark soon. The danger level in the forest has risen significantly, and many pairs of eyes coveted the little girl in the corner. If it weren't for a group of bullies guarding the piranhas, there would already be monsters that couldn't hold back. Who made our Alice angry? With a flash of golden light, Yi Bai stepped on the pangolin's back and laughed. Mine owner big brother, you've come back. Why did it take so long? Didn't it say 1 hour at the latest? Quote. Alice turned her head in surprise and joy. Excited, the delicate body rushed towards Yi Bai's face, giving Yi Bai a warm hug. Cough. Western girls are passionate. Yi Bai let go of Alice a little embarrassed and explained. Something went wrong, stay a while longer. In short, go back first, grandpas are also in a hurry. Quote. Aha, Alice let go, blushing slightly. He whispered in a voice that only he could hear. Girls in the West aren't so passionate about everyone either. Afterwards, the two drove the silver-scaled pangolin with the piranha, and went back in a mighty manner. More than 100 piranhas climbed directly on the pangolin's back and hitchhiked. Pangolins are fast in the mountains. Along the way, Alice chattered about her adventures in the dragon's den. Yi Bai is naturally like in the channel, blowing the conch. Brag about yourself as a knightly protagonist in an adventure story. Forget about the desperate escape in the true story. Along the way, the little girl was full of adoring exclamations and longing eyes. Let Yi Bai be complacent. Alice's favorite is adventure stories, and the admiration in her eyes is getting higher and higher. After a while, he arrived at his own territory. The faint lights of the mines have been seen. Hustle and bustle. Gold miners are patrolling and chatting at the fence, asking each other about the harvest of the day. A smoke rose from the hut. If there is no time, you can smell the delicious aroma in the air. The little chef has prepared delicious food to reward everyone who has been tired after a long day. Finally home, Yi Bai couldn't help standing up and shouting. The mine owner is back. The spiritual stones salvaged from the river today are still waiting for you to count them. Yeah, a school of fish and shrimp jumped out of the river in the afternoon. There is no need for us to use the net to fish and jump into the bowl ourselves. Quote. The mine owner, take a look at the farmland, I planted 50 acres of land in one afternoon. Vegetables and fruits, as well as scarce medicinal materials, have not fallen. That is, the gasoline has run out, and the 3 machines are all lying down. Quote. Seeing the returning army, the mine suddenly became a sensation. It was already dark, and the grandfathers were worried about both their granddaughters and the mine owner. White-bearded grandpas, every word you say, I will run back to welcome you every word. Grandpa, I'm back, haha, you guys have no idea how wonderful our adventure is this time. Quote. Alice jumped down with a smile and told her grandfather this story. At the same time, the little cook, Zawan, also ran back in an apron. The silver-scaled pangolin has become smarter. Knowing who was in charge of the food, it shook his head towards Zawan as if complaining. With eyes he said, seeing that I have brought so many people back, there is no credit or hard work. Hee, I can't miss you. Try my newly developed secret grilled fish today. Quote. Zawan brought out plates of grilled fish with all the flavors from the kitchen and threw them to pangolins. The pangolin looked up and then devoured it for a while, which was not enough. Grandpa Gourd looked at the piranhas from the side and muttered. These piranhas have big mouths, and the scent on their bodies is very attractive. With them, it is estimated that a swarm of bees can be summoned. Double the output of the field. Quote. Haha, old Gourd. I see that this group of flowers is there, I am afraid that there will be beasts coming to the door every day. We will be able to hunt at home in the future. Grandpa Drill laughed. Yi Bai said in surprise. I didn't expect piranha to have hidden effects. He had ignored the prefix Longxiang of their names before. I saw these old men chattering around me. The leader of the piranha opened his fangs unhappily and took a bite. Haha, I'm still losing my temper. Let me tease. Why are you still running away? Quote. The piranha and the gold miners teased, and the fight was hot. Finally, the little cook brought out a group of cooked meat. Piranha just let them go. Don't underestimate these guys, they will be the most loyal guards of our mines in the future. Come, Big Mouth, you take them to the riverside station, and if there is any trouble in the future, you will report it as soon as possible. Quote. Yi Bai named the piranha leader. The piranha dominates the field of bones. Now it is the first time to be a younger brother, and all of them are still stubborn. I want to stay here to eat and drink. Until the little cook said to herself. Why do the fish and shrimp in the river always jump to the shore by themselves, and it's so troublesome to deal with them every day? This group of piranhas shook their heads and ran to the riverside to camp. Don't say. The small river basin is indeed rich in river products, and many fish, shrimp and shells are produced every day. From time to time a few fish popped out of the river to breathe. And the purple piranhas rooted on both sides of the strait are busy opening their mouths to snatch, and they have also become a scene in the mines. Yi Bai smiled and took the right to their welfare. At this time, it is to drive the cannibals to go, and they are reluctant to leave. Don't worry, the gasoline problem you worried about has been solved. Yi Bai took out a barrel of crude oil from the space, 1,000 barrels. When the miners saw it, they immediately burst into laughter, and the machine was so anxious that they had been stunned before. Without oil, machines are just scrap metal. Grandpa Jack got some crude oil on his finger, studied it and reminded mine owner, this group of crude oil needs to be filtered. Otherwise there are too many impurities. Quote, yes, there are oil purifiers in Alexander, you can buy more. The mine still lacks a water pump to draw water from the Holy Spring well. The boss wants to buy more fishing nets. There are too many fish in the river. The old men surrounded Yi Bai and said a word to me. Yi Bai listened for a while until the little cook greeted everyone. The mine owner has also had a hard day, and everyone is tired. Go to have dinner first and discuss slowly. Quote, everyone nodded in agreement. I haven't seen you for a long time, the mine is reborn. Grandpa Leopard Head and Drill Bit not only built walls, but also built a few houses with them. Although the appearance is general, but the material is good, firm and reliable. Having 2 combat units part-time life architects is too wasteful. See if you can summon golden workers later. Quote, Yi Bai muttered in his heart. For the mine to become bigger and stronger, it needs more talents. Dinner is prepared on the grass in the open air. Knowing that everyone is a big eater, Zawan specially prepared hundreds of caddies of food. There are steaks and thighs slathered in sauce and served with cilantro. There is also a piece of grilled oil, sprinkled with peppers, garlic, sesame oil, grilled fish, and a big pot of spicy crayfish. There are also pots of salad as garnish, raw cucumbers and tomatoes as cold cuts. There is also a large pot of lotus root pork rib soup in the middle. Even freshly washed pears, bananas, and watermelon are desserts. Everyone was unceremonious, and after they were seated, they ate meat and soup. The white-bearded grandfathers grabbed a wolf's leg with one hand and a grape in their mouth with the other. Eat full of beards and shiny. Everyone's eyes lit up after tasting the food. The fresh ingredients and the master cooking skills are more fat but not greasy, and the taste is doubled. Yi Bai took a bite of the marinated pork chop. The flesh is plump, which greatly supplements the physical strength he consumes. Among them, the crayfish, everyone has one bite, and they don't want to peel the shell. Yi Bai couldn't help but sigh. Before, our group of bigwigs were rough, even if we had ingredients, we only knew one roast. With the purple cuckoo, from now on the delicious food, the belly can stop. Quote, Alice took a sip of the hot soup and said with a smile. Zijun is much more capable than I am, with so many tricks. All looked dazzled. Quote, Zawan, who was anxiously waiting for the evaluation, waved her hand and said, nothing, I have little strength, only small things like cooking. Sister Alice helps the mine owner, and the vein-finding exploration is something I can never compare to. Quote, reminder, everyone in the mine tastes everyone, and their mood is +10. Physical strength, spirit began to speed up recovery. Combining work and rest, everyone who has worked hard all day eats a hearty dinner, which is called living. Don't look at the inconspicuous purple cuckoo. Her arrival at least raised the atmosphere of the mine to a new level. Even the work efficiency is 3 points higher, and the average output is at least +10%. While eating and drinking, Yi Bai took stock of today's total harvest. Even more startled, in just the second day, the output exploded, 100 times more than the first day. The total output of spirit stones this afternoon exceeded 12,000. More than 50% of the spiritual stones are contributed by moles. And look at the harvest records. Obviously, the further back you go, the more difficult it becomes. The speed of acquisition is also getting slower. The places where the spiritual stones are hidden are getting more and more remote, and the water is getting deeper and deeper. Today's lunch at noon, the harvest is too great. And say the mole, and the mole will come. There was a rustling in the corner. In a tunnel, a black shadow ran out, and behind the shadow was a long queue. It was the gem dragon rat who brought the moles to eat and drink. But this time, the dragon rat seemed quite righteous. Because tonight is not a prostitute. They contribute enough value. Yi Bai glanced over, unable to see. The moles have made a fixed passage in their own minds. It seems that the day when the full acquisition of the mole colony is just around the corner. Hee, the little guys are here. You have worked hard today, come and eat some spicy crayfish. Quote. Alice grinned and picked up a lobster to tempt the mole. Today's food has been upgraded, and the scented moles are jumping up and down. The miners' grandfathers obviously love this group of offbeat colleagues. Bend over and throw bones one by one. The gem dragon mouse climbed up on the table to find something to eat, and suddenly his whole body was fried. Looking at the purple figure running over in horror, he was so frightened that he hid behind Yi Bai. What's wrong? Yi Bai looked up, and it turned out that the purple piranhas on the riverbank saw a group of uninvited guests descending from the ground. It is moving the branches, opening its mouth to prey on the moles. Yi Bai quickly stood up and stopped. Wait, my own. The moles are non-staff employees of our gold mine, and they have also contributed to the mine. Can't kill by mistake. Quote. After a good explanation, it was the little cook who came forward again and went out to reconcile with the barbecue. The piranhas were quiet and let the frightened moles go. Seeing the piranhas rushing to eat barbecue, their mouths are full of oil as they grab each other. Yi Bai is a little suspicious. It's such a coincidence that this group of piranhas did not deliberately behave just now. Just for dinner, right? Quote. The more he thought about it, the more he thought it was possible. Otherwise, this group of lazy people, why are they so dedicated? They will take the initiative to attack. Thinking of this, Yi Bai commanded. Purple cuckoo, you can't spoil them too much. Sometimes when I'm full, I'm lazy and don't want to move. Well, didn't you just cook a bunch of screws? Anyway, they like to chew with big mouths, and they are not afraid of hard. Let them taste slowly. Quote. There are a lot of screws in the small river basin, and the employees are too lazy to eat them. Mine owner, this is not good. Zawan put her feet up and touched the thorny shell of Big Mouth intimately. Dazui is vicious to others, but he is obedient to Zawan like a sunflower. No, this is a reasonable arrangement of resources. By the way, I'll clean up later. Remember to throw the food waste such as bones and fish bones that we have eaten to the piranha directly. They love to eat. Quote. Yi Bai felt that his act of collecting piranhas was very wise. Not only are there more groups of super guards, but they can also clean up garbage by the way. Fortunately, they still don't know much about the treatment of employees. But any old fried dough sticks will be furious when they hear these words. Although the little cook felt weird, but after removing the screws, seeing the crunchy chewing of the piranha and the joyful shaking, it is not surprising. Seeing the safety, the gem dragon rat sneaked out. Forage on the table. The food on the table, it has never seen it in half its life. Pick up a plate of braised fish, big pieces of douying. At this time, Alice seemed to find out who was missing, and asked worriedly. What about making money? On weekdays, don't you like to eat with dragons and mice the most? Still in the dragon cave and haven't come back. Quote. Others, including the dragon mouse, all looked at Yi Bai. Yes, there are so few people in the family, why did I only find out now? Don't worry, it's sleeping. Yi Bai took out a lucky charm from his arms. Zhao Kai let out an unhappy meow, compared to before. Originally pure white hair, mixed with half of the golden color. The original body seems to be condensed a little, and a scale is being held in his hand. Smelling the smell of the dragon, the gem dragon mouse looked suspiciously over his head. It's finally safe to let go. Yi Bai carefully took over the reverse scale, 3 lives were secured, and he could just wave freely in the future. And at the moment of taking over the reverse scale, not surprisingly, a dragon roar sounded. An afterimage that seems to be the dragon head drilled out of it. Suddenly, he shouted at Yi Bai, the challenger. Instinctively, the domineering arrogance of his body rose. The gold miners almost saw. Behind Yi Bai, his whole body glowed, and the phantom of a giant of light with a halo appeared behind his head. This is his soul projection, mixed with the ability of the glittering fruit. Dazzling incomparably, as eye-catching as 9 gods and Buddhas. God, is my mine owner Jesus reincarnated? Jack grandpas put their hands together. Oriental leopard heads and little cooks are not so superstitious. But also adoration arises. Although the broken dragon fragments are of high quality. But I don't know how long I've been dead. After all, the successor is powerless, after suppressing the domineering arrogance at the beginning. Soon, in waves of confrontation, he was gradually swallowed up by Yi Bai's giant of light. And Yi Bai finally felt that the domineering that had been stuck on the barrier made a complete breakthrough. It is like another tentacle of Yi Bai, it can close the house at will. The scope of control is specific to the fineness of the individual. The previous primary overlord color, Yi Bai cast very rough. Every time it is a large area, wide to suppress the enemy. A lot of domineering was wasted, and after the promotion, the degree of control and sophistication has risen to a new level, and the degree of threat to individuals has risen. Congratulations to your overlord color domineering successfully swallowing the resentment of the dragon, and successfully promoted to the intermediate overlord color. You can freely retract and suppress your personal spirit. Reminder, because of your confrontation with Longdying, Alice, gold miners and other employees have +10 admiration for you. Aware of the dragon power on you, the gem dragon rat's friendliness to you +10. The last two were unexpected joys. Yi Bai turned his attention to lucky fortune. The other party has evolved, and has undergone a reborn change. She was covered in gold and white, looking majestic and cute, which attracted Alice and Zawan to tease her. And seeing its properties panel, Yi Bai's eyebrows jumped. Incredible, the kitten has become a big tiger. Friendly reminder. Congratulations to your pet lucky cat who ate the Kowloon butterfly fruit and successfully returned to his ancestors. Be blessed by God and become the king of lucky cats. Please be kind and don't hurt. This special reminder was something Yi Bai had never seen before, and it seemed that even the gods were unwilling to harm the evolved lucky charm. He looked at the awe-inspiring fortune. The other party has recovered his energy. While teasing with the two young ladies, he bullied the gem dragon mouse. The dragon rat buried his head in cooking, and seemed to be even more afraid of making money. When viewed with identification, Yi Bai's eyes narrowed. Name: 5 Fortune Lucky Cats. Category: King of Rui Beasts. At present, the only known in the underground world is the King of Lucky Cats who has made up for the defect. Level: Top Bronze. High potential, can be upgraded through treasure hunting. After the upgrade, the talent continues to increase. Closing square bracket. Attributes: Strength 100, Spirit 150, Constitution 140, Agility 280. Host: Yi Bai. Loyalty: 100. Talent skills: Good luck is always there, Townhouse wards off evil spirits, and attracts wealth and treasures. Advanced version: Bring the owner a 2% increase in the total wealth value every day, so that the daily summoning personnel of the mine +1. The probability of occurrence of adventure events is greatly increased. Closing parenthesis. 4 hoofs on the snow receive the blessing of God, not hurt by bad luck. It is related to metaphysics, and the evasion ability is super high. Can also enter a lucky state, unharmed, almost invisible. 5 blessings. Fu, Lu and Shou are complete, and the reproduction rate of animals raised in the territory is increased by 5 times. Treasures such as gold mines and silver mines are likely to appear in the territory. In the treasure hunt, 100% discover hidden secrets and treasures. From time to time you can find mysterious surprises. At the same time, its owner is haunted by luck. Similar to the lottery and other similar metaphysical things, there is a high probability of being a lieutenant general. The value of the treasures he takes every day is greatly increased. There will be a high probability that 1,000-year-old medicinal materials, rare spiritual fruits, even treasure maps, etc., the last time is the top spirit stone. Closing square bracket. Description: It is extremely difficult for auspicious beasts to appear, and this one who ate the sky-boosting fruit is one in hundreds of millions. It will bring you blessings, but be kind to it. Otherwise there may be bad luck. My darling, I used to read in the textbook that the Super Consortium has a lucky cat. There are also state-owned enterprises, which are regarded as the treasures of town houses. But I've never heard of the 5 blessings. Quote, Yi Bai feels that he has to stay away from Africa from now on, and the European spirit is in me. You don't have to worry about the blackface of drawing cards anymore. He couldn't help but hug Lucky for a while and kiss. Remember to bring me more goodies in the future. The original function has been enhanced by Epic. Yi Bai is looking forward to what surprises it can bring to him. This daily routine has surprises, and he really loves it. Meow. Being kissed greasy by Yi Bai, Zhao Kai showed disgust on his face. After the advanced level, its wisdom has risen a lot, and it is getting smarter. It jumped out of Yi Bai's arms and ran towards the two of Alice. Yi Bai said hee hee. He pondered the inverse scale in his hand, and the gem dragon mouse looked up at the scale. It's down to work again, and it's faithful. Even the evolution of fortune is not shocking. What level is this dragon rat? Yi Bai speculates curiously. The more you get in touch with it, the more mysterious it feels. Every time I come, I always bring myself a big prize, and from the dragon bloodstone last time. Yi Bai guessed that it might have been to the dragon cave. And with its thief guts, it has also been to the dragon's cave. Either it's earlier than that evil dragon, or it's lifeless in the dragon's lair. Yi Bai tried to use the identification technique to look at it, and the result was confusing. Grade, race, talent, skills. Son of the earth, legendary rat king, lucky star Gaojiao, turning bad things into good fortune. A series of question marks almost made Yi Bai think he was confused. This time there is more information than the original, but I didn't even see the talent clearly. I can only vaguely feel that it is very anti-sky. And it seems to know that Yi Bai observes himself. The dragon rat moved his big butt, grabbed a steak, and hid under the table to eat. No wonder the difficulty of the strategy is so high, it seems that there are hidden secrets. However, I was bullied by my cat. Seeing that Zhao Kai went to grab something to eat with it, Yi Bai laughed. At the same time, when he put Niscale up against his body, he felt a sense of security that he had never felt before. 3 lives. You can roam more later. Big Ivan can't help me either. Quote. Thinking of this, he took out the mysterious map and checked it out. After today's expedition to the Dragon's Cave, he was more interested in the SSS level Devil's Great Rift. Coupled with the courage brought by the reverse scales. On the last day of tomorrow, he will definitely go to see the big rift. Next, Yi Bai and Longmo discuss the matter of continuing to cooperate. After being assured that there is food available, the moles will come over by themselves. He nodded in satisfaction. Dragon Mouse, remember to notify me of any treasures in the future, or treasure maps and mysterious news. I will give you an offer that you cannot refuse. Quote. The gem dragon rat buried his head and didn't pay much attention. Yi Bai sighed. It seemed that it was a bit difficult to lick the mouse fur from the dragon and mouse. Only to see the opportunity later. Then he went to condolences to other workers. Counted today's silver and gold income. The total number of gold now exceeds 30 tons. Over 10 tons of silver. This is a terrifying number. More people means more power. When Yi Bai was touching the dragon's cave, gold miners are digging for gold and scouring for spirit stones. Coupled with the help of the moles, a silver mine was discovered in the afternoon. They also asked Leopard Head to pull Baiyan over. Therefore, Yi Bai's silver reserves also exploded. Plus other messy diamonds and gems. At present, Yi Bai's total wealth has exceeded 500,000 points. Second-ranked Johnson is still struggling within 1,000. On the contrary, there are many new miners. After tomorrow, you can go home. Everyone go to bed early today, remember not to be attacked by monsters. Quote. The channel is full of joy tonight. This is the last night before returning. At around 5 or 6 in the afternoon tomorrow, everyone can choose to return. After making a fortune this time, everyone was naturally happy and fantasized about returning home with so many golden sands. Haha, our gold diggers. The most profitable is of course Yi Bai, a direct wave of financial freedom. It is estimated that when we go back, we can all see it on TV. I seem to see a brand new super consortium rising up. Quote. Not necessarily, now there are more and more predators than in the early days of the gold rush. Many bigwigs must want him to be a worker and make money for themselves. If he sets up a gold rush company and wants to go it alone, he will definitely be strangled and acquired by the big guys. Quote. Hey, let's take care of ourselves, pay attention to safety at night, and don't capsize in the gutter. ... Yi Bai just casually looked at the chat room and closed it. For the development after the return, he was mentally prepared, and did not put the real problems in his mind. Big boss buys. All my foundations are in the underground world, will I be afraid of them? I'm not even afraid of Big Ivan. What he is more worried about now is tomorrow's SSS level difficulty. A red-winged demon dragon came out of SS rank. It's hard for Yi-Bai to imagine what the Devil's Rift will run out of, won't he give him a Balrog? That thing is a super boss of the same level as the dragon in the adventure story. Generally set as the ultimate boss of the protagonist. Yi-Bai felt that for the new self, it was a little bit more difficult. And looking at his riches, Yi-Bai was thinking about the treasure of Alexander's town shop. The original astronomical figure of 200,000 caddies of gold was out of reach, but now it seems possible. And tomorrow is the last day of the discount. Yi-Bai gritted his teeth and chose to enter the store. He wants to make a big purchase, he wants to throw everything. Welcome, it seems that the boss has gained a lot today. The store was full of lights, and Alexander was still smiling at the counter. There are many new products on the counter, as well as the treasure of the town store whose price is equivalent to 100 tons of gold. As soon as Yi-Bai came in, he immediately stared at Chenkin. Reluctant to open his eyes, he swallowed and said, "Boss, give a low price, can this book be sold?" Hearing big business coming, Alexander's eyes lit up, he smiled and said, "Hey, this treasure is rare, it is said that someone used it to kill a true god. It's the price, to tell you the truth. This is already 1/10 of the original price." Yi-Bai's eyelids twitched. So, the original price is about 1,000 tons of gold. Yi-Bai began to grind the price bitterly. "Alexander, you see we've known each other for so long. Among them, Jack and Martin are your old friends and have known each other for half a lifetime. I came here this time, not only to buy this treasure. I also want to find some oil purifiers, and then buy some machines and consumption items. Now that the family has a big business, we have to make plans for the people under him." Quote. Alexander's entangled headaches, doubts in his heart. Didn't we only know each other for 2 days, how come we are old friends? However, for this sky-high price, he has indeed smashed 563 in his hand for a long time. Yi-Bai finally said, "To be honest, I want to buy it this time. Mainly because on the last day of tomorrow, I'm going to the Devil's Rift. I always feel mentally empty and want to increase my confidence. I went to the SS level Dragon Cave today and almost didn't come out." Alexander's black beard moved. "No wonder today's harvest is so great. Well, I'll hit half the price again, which is already the lowest price, and I've lost money. If it weren't for funding your expedition, tomorrow would be the deadline. I really don't want to buy at this price." Yi-Bai is overjoyed. Isn't there hope? But worth 50 tons of gold, Yi-Bai is still not enough. He is full of calculations, that is, 30 tons of gold, 10 tons of silver. There are also scattered gems and so on, about 5 tons of gold. Of course, if there is a premium auction in the outside world, it could be slightly higher, but it will take more time. "Boss, it's almost, and you are trying to hollow me out. Always buy some other tools to maintain the natural operation of the mine." Yi-Bai said regretfully. "It's the cheapest." Alexander shook his head. Suddenly he said cautiously, "Don't you have a few mysterious props in your hand?" "Ahem, that scale, and the golden dragon tooth rice, I can buy it at a high price. Of course, your pet is also very good, you can use it to pay off the debt. This book is for you." Quote. Yi-Bai's eyes are red, this black shop owner is still thinking about his own fortune. Jack is right, Alexander is the evil black boss. No, that's a lifesaver. Seeing Yi-Bai's resolute attitude, Alexander could only say regretfully, "Don't you still have a lot of low-level spirit stones hidden in your hand? They are also hard currency. One counts as 1,000 gold for you, so that's all right." Yi-Bai needs spirit stones for daily cultivation, and miners also need to use them to level up. And in Blue Star, spirit stones are the most precious strategic treasures. But considering the dangers of tomorrow, Yi-Bai couldn't. It can only cost 5,000 spirit stones to top the whole. After some bargaining, I took 5 oil purifiers as gifts. There are also a number of detonators, Popeyes and other gadgets as gifts. Yi-Bai finally spent astronomical prices. 5,000 spirit stones, 29 tons of gold, 10 tons of silver, 500 diamonds, and 500 gems, in exchange for this treasure. This is a trembling number, converted into stars, no less than 20 billion. My favorite gold is only a ton left. Other treasures of silver and precious stones are gone. The moment I spend money, my heart trembles. Yi Bai wondered if he had made the wrong purchase, and was reluctant to confirm. I'm reluctant to let the child get caught in the wolf. I keep some money for the boss to use his skills. Otherwise, I will take away the last ton of gold. Alexander saw that Yi Bai was reluctant to let go, and persuaded. Well, I'll give you another 1,000-unit space ring, which can hold a lot of sundries. There is also a lucky 5-leaf clover. The effect is 10 times that of a 4-leaf clover. How about it? I hope the big devil's rift doesn't disappoint me, at least give me back. Yi Bai finally bought the book, for nothing else. Just for the next time I see the red-winged demon dragon, I can kill the opponent with money. As the jingling wealth disappeared, the boss took the book from the counter. At the same time the message appears. Reminder, your wealth has shrunk in a straight line, and you have successfully purchased the unlimited skill book, 1 throw. Gift space ring X1, lucky clover X1, oil purifier X5, kerosene lamp X10. Several fruit seeds. Reminder, rational consumption, gold mining is not easy. Yi Bai couldn't care less about the heartache, so he quickly read this book and studied it without hesitation. Congratulations on successfully learning the unlimited skill, Throw of Heaven and Earth. After the study, the world is thrown, the introduction is more detailed. The damage it deals is true damage that ignores defense, and it can automatically lock on the enemy. Throw of Heaven and Earth. By consuming wealth, the comprehensive price is 1 for the wealth value of 1 kilogram of gold, which is converted into 1 point of damage. Note 1 point of damage is equivalent to a finger cut. In addition to attacking an enemy, it can also be transformed into a group attack of money rain. The special effects are extremely gorgeous, which greatly satisfies the local tyrant mentality of users. Hopefully the effect doesn't disappoint me. He could only be so comforted. The other space ring made Yi Bai feel pretty good. 1,000 square meters, enough to hold the sundries of 2 basketballs. In addition to installing some resources in the system space, many sundries are inconvenient to install. As for the other 5-leaf clover, it is the advanced version of clover. Lucky clover. 1,000 4-leaf clovers appear. The effect is 10 times that of a 4-leaf clover, and the luck will be doubled 50 times within an hour. When used well, the effect far outweighs the cost. With it and lucky fortune, Yi Bai felt that he could be transferred to Uhuang. But just when Yi Bai was about to leave, Alexander turned heads to list the new treasures of the town store, as well as other new products. For example, Lucky Clover sells for 100 diamonds, Super Vitality Water. There is even a Divine Escaping Divine Boat, which is worth 10 tons of gold and can be purchased with 10,000 spirit stones. And the new treasure of the town store turned out to be the Great Movement of the Universe. Great Movement of the Universe. Unlimited skills, spending money, and teleporting instantly. Price, 100 tons of gold, or equivalent. Yi Bai. He felt cheated by the store manager. The boat was done, Yi Bai could only go back first. Before leaving, Alexander exhorted. Little brother, be careful when you go to the Devil's Great Rift tomorrow. It's best to bring some materials. You are not transferred to Yuan Tianxi. Origin of formation. After coming out of the store, Yi Bai aggressively went to find the miner's grandpa with a group of tools. Alice was startled by Yi Bai's solemn expression. She was also able to check the mine's wealth, and when she saw that there was only 1 ton of gold left, she suddenly exclaimed. Working overtime all night. Tonight everyone is panning for gold for me. The newly bought oil purifier is controlled by a leopard head. Don't stop petrol. Don't stop Shangli water. Don't stop the crane for me. Isn't there a monster attacking tonight? Hit me up with the shit. Chenkin needs money. To occupy the wealth list, you need money to settle first. I will go back to buy tomorrow, and I also need money. Yi Bai is now in a panic. It seems that the boss was fooled by Alexander. The brothers are working overtime, and tomorrow the boss will go back to make a big purchase. Grandpa Jack brought his brothers to greet him to start the machine. The kerosene lamps are hung, the bonfires are raised. Turn on the lights near the mine. Yi Bai is also not afraid that a super boss will be attracted to attack, he just happened to try his magic skills. Not only was the mine shaken, but even the chat room started a big earthquake. In the middle of the night, why did Yi Bai's wealth fall so hard? Come and see everyone, Yi Bai is bankrupt. It was just equivalent to 500,000 wealth points, and now it is worth 10,000. That is to say, in an instant, he lost 90% of his wealth. Haha, maybe it was too public and was robbed by the boss. Many people gloat at misfortune, and watch the fun without taking it too seriously. Yes, is Yi Bai going to touch the dragon cave in the afternoon? The creditor must have come to the door, and he redeemed himself with gold. Whoever is the happiest must be Johnson in second place. He thought he had no hope, but suddenly such a big surprise came. Haha, God gave me a chance to make a comeback. Luck will not protect you all the time. If you want to walk for a long time, you have to keep your feet on the ground. On the last day, I'm going to reverse. I'm the number one in this issue. Many foreign gold diggers suddenly cheered, and everyone speculated on the reason for Yi Bai's fall. I think he's broke. Mu Lingwei also worried and sent a private message to ask. Yi Bai is leading everyone, working overtime in full swing. Simply reply, rest assured, just made a big investment. Watch me make the news with dozens of tons of gold before I return tomorrow. Quote. Then wait for your good news. At that time, if you encounter any trouble in reality, or if you want to sell gold or gems, please contact me at any time. Of course the best is the spirit stone. The shrinking wealth still makes Yi Bai a little anxious. Gold miners are driving cranes, digging along the Dragon Mountains in the east. The small spiritual stone mines in the river are becoming more and more difficult to dig, and Yi Bai plans to stop digging for the time being. Anyway, the 7,000 spirit stones in hand are enough for the time being. The most important thing at present is to let gold go up, so the confidence comes. Chenkin's throw can also play the biggest role, and he will have more confidence in going to the Devil's Great Rift tomorrow. At night, everyone mobilized. Even Grandpa Hulu was arrested. Grandpa Hulu, I have a good thing here, it can improve everyone's strength. Hope you take good care of it. After speaking, Yi Bai took out an S rank card and a B rank card. Use the B level resource card, Bone Land, to merge with the Black Land. It is rare that they belong to the same type and can complement each other. As the White Bone card turned into a cloud of white smoke covering a radius of 100 acres. The original black soil is mixed with white, which looks out of place. Soil components complement each other and compete with each other for sovereignty. One black and one white constantly flickered in the soil. The distressed Grandpa Hulu quickly said, "Mine owner, the land won't go to waste, will it? The original black land is the best land I have ever seen in my life, even if you drop the seeds, you can reap them." Quote. Don't worry about this. Might as well study how to plant this extinct species. Just as Yi Bai spoke, the black and white land had already finished fighting. They are so delicately intertwined. In the middle of the land, a golden curve is formed with each other. Yi Bai looked a little familiar, and the system quickly gave an answer. Congratulations on the fusion of your black earth and the white bone earth, and your promotion to A-level Tai Chi. Well, it's really Tai Chi graphics. Yi Bai checked the special effects of the new land. Tai Chi soil. A-level land is made by fusion of two rare B-level cards. Within 100 acres of land, the yield is plus 10 times, and the maturity speed is 100 times faster. When planting various rare species, the probability of survival is 99%. And there is a small chance to trigger special effects, the return of spring. Rare species are born and seedlings are born. The description is simple, but the effect is terrifying. The fusion of two cards, the effect is multiplication. Grandpa Hulu looked at this land and smiled. Mine owner, take a look, the gourd seeds that I just planted in the afternoon have already come to fruition. The grapes on the vine were all as big as pearls. And those winter melons and tomatoes, haha. Quote. He laughed so much, he ran to the ground and shouted loudly. I was thinking about which kind of longya rice to use, but now it's simple. Just go to the Tai Chi center where the spiritual energy is the most abundant. Yi Bai greeted Grandpa Gourd to plant quickly. When he saw this seedling that looked like a tree stalk, he couldn't believe it. This thing is also rice. Yes, but it was eaten by ancient dragons, and it is extremely nutritious. The resulting rice, 1 grain 1 meter high. Be sure to take care of it. Quote. Grandpa Gourd was dumbfounded and took out a gardening hoe to plant it himself. And when the golden dragon tooth rice is established on the Tai Chi Center, all the vegetables and fruits on the 100 acres of land bowed down to pay tribute to it. Within the 1 acre of land where the golden dragon tooth rice is located, the moonlight wheat that was growing well was instantly withered, and all the nearby vitality was taken away. Instead, the originally malnourished golden dragon tooth rice spreads its branches and leaves like fertilizer. The large leaves of each lotus leaf exude a dazzling golden color, and the tree stem is like a sesame blossom, rising steadily. In the blink of an eye, the diameter has reached the stage of adult hands and hugs. It has even begun to bear flower bones. Such a surprising phenomenon attracts others. Everyone looked at this golden tree and talked a lot. As expected of an S-class, it really is domineering. Just one less. Quote. Yi Bai praised it, and it is not a pity for an acre of dead vegetables. After all, other ordinary vegetables are nothing compared to the golden dragon tooth rice. Reminder. Your employee, Grandpa Gourd, successfully planted S-rank plants. The experience bonus is extremely fast, and he has been promoted to high-level bronze. There is another unexpected joy that is the promotion of Grandpa Hulu. This afternoon, Tom and Martin also broke through bronze because of the salvage of spirit stones. The level becomes higher, and the production efficiency is tenfolded. Even in battle, one can beat the original 10. The matter of the land was left to Grandpa Hulu, and Yi Bai took a look at the work of the gold miners. Along with the roaring mechanical sound, the Wolf King mountain breaker cut through the mountain walls and Gobi. Others operate 2 cranes that lift gold from them in shifts. This place in the giant dragon mountains may be due to the fall of a dragon, which is considered to be excellent in feng shui. Every now and then you can find a large nugget of gold. Plus tonight Yi Bai set them a dead goal of only salvaging gold and other valuables. So the work efficiency is very high. Coupled with the leopard head, they controlled the oil purifier, and the barrels of oil they brought over. At night, the gold mines roared constantly. My lord, we are so disturbing. Will it cause discomfort to the local overlord? Leopard Head carried a barrel of oil and suggested worriedly. After all, the raptors are also afraid of local snakes, and it is very dangerous at night. Hee, I am worried that no one will give me a try. My hands are still itchy. Quote. Yi Bai, whose strength has increased greatly, doesn't care about the monster's attack, just that he is not strong enough. He took out the corpse of the ghost-faced spider mother that he hunted not long ago. This monster's body is a treasure, and many materials can be used. The poison sac in it, be careful, it's deadly. If you dab a little on the arrowhead, you are guaranteed to be instantly killed even by high-level bronze creatures. Among them, you can make 8 spider lances into 8 spider lances, and 8 long spears, as standard weapons, 1 per person. Quote. The power of the silver-level magic spider mother made Leopard's head jump, and he was surprised and delighted when he saw the material. Yes, guaranteed to complete what the Lord entrusted. Everyone is busy, and the little cook is also preparing the soup for supper. Alice is in charge of the overall situation, helping Yi Bai patrol. Yi Bai also had similar boss materials in his hands, which were still piled up in the warehouse. It must be too much of a loss to directly recycle it to Alexander. Now he has firmly hammered that the other party is a black shop. The best plan is to teach students in accordance with their aptitude and manufacture corresponding equipment and machines. It is a pity that the mine is short of manpower, so I can only ask Alexander to process it. After sorting out the harvest, Yi Bai looked at the unlimited scroll in his hand. What skills are better to upgrade? Logically speaking, at present, the highest is the advanced knowledge and color. Upgrading to the top can foresee the future 100%, and the help to the battle is simply leaps and bounds. He weighed the pros and cons in his heart, and thought of the Chenkin throw he had just obtained. But this thing seems to be very special and cannot be upgraded. This made Yi Bai secretly complain in his heart. If the newly obtained Milky Way starburst is upgraded, I am afraid that the universe will explode. What about the other 2 domineering? When Yi Bai was indecisive. Suddenly, if you feel something. The warning made him look outside. I saw it on the periphery of the mine, bounded by the small river basin. Pairs of red eyes surrounded from all directions. Leopard Head immediately stopped working and shouted. Everyone be careful, there are enemies coming. No, don't stop. There are some small animals in the district, just for everyone's supper. Yi Bai didn't care. The pangolins were summoned, they got out of the fence, and they were ready to act. Still in the distance, the identification technique has been introduced one after another. You have discovered the night jackals, corpse eaters, sleepless ones, and wargs. The total number is more than 1,000, including the boss. Please be careful. It seems that the night is too dazzling. The number of enemies who came this time is obviously a bit large, which is beyond common sense. Without waiting for Alice and others to worry. Next moment. Before waiting for the enemy to come around, there was a sudden scream and panic sound from the small river. I saw inconspicuous in the dark, the sleeping purple piranhas on both sides of the river suddenly opened their big mouths and pulled their legs out of the mud. Chasing the butt of the devil wolf. Some humanoid carrion monsters, such as corpse eaters and sleepless ones, are even more unfortunate and restrained by their size. The piranha bites off the corpse eater's waist with one mouth, and with a little force. Crunchy. After chewing twice, even the bones were swallowed. Piranha didn't seem to expect that the prey would come to the door in the big night, and they danced in the moonlight one by one. It opened its bloody mouth to hunt for food, and the dancing branches were like demons. When the invading enemy saw such a lineup, they barked in horror and fled in a hurry. Courage was terrified. At this moment, Yi Bai was in a trance and didn't know who was the intruder. Reminder: your first line of defense, Dragon Blood Man-Eater, is hunting down enemies. Please be careful not to eat too much piranha, it is easy to indigestion. Just these things, you dare to attack my gold mine. Isn't this old birthday star eating arsenic? The pangolin had never seen such a brutal scene, and was a little shivering. But the enemy is not mindless, and soon there will be boss-level Wolf King and others running out to kill the piranha. I can't let you break my guard. Yi Bai flew up suddenly, shining like a shooting star in the dark night. It caught everyone's attention in an instant. Didn't you want to find the culprit? I'm here. Yi Bai stood above the river bank, and the wind was screeching. The momentum on his body is like a volcano about to explode, making the monsters under his feet startle and frighten. But what they don't know is that this is Yi Bai's special control of the Overlord. Otherwise, you are afraid to scare away the enemy. The Wolf King and the elite ghouls naturally didn't know this, but thought that they had found the enemy leader, and their eyes were red. Using his housekeeping skills, he rushed up. And why Yi Bai took the trouble to come here, of course, was to experiment with the skills that he had bought at an exorbitant price. Throw the heavens and the earth. With a thought. Yi Bai in the sky seems to be the god of wealth. With the joyful clanging sound of gold and silver. The entire small river basin seemed to be dyed gold, and everyone's eyes, including Alice, Grandpa Jack, and Leopard Head, turned into copper coin symbols. Then the sky seemed to rain money. I saw the golden copper coins and gold ingots all over the sky smashed down like no money. Accurately aim at each enemy, and a piranha is not accidentally injured. The eyes of the wolves and ghouls are also full of money symbols, and they are controlled like a demon. Standing stupidly, he was hit by gold ingots. However, the golden copper coins and the like looked auspicious, but at the moment of contact, they took the lives of the evil wolves. With the local tyrants' gold covering the whole land, the ground was dyed into gold bricks. The small river flows with gold sand, and from time to time there are treasure chests full of jewels. Not only gold ingots, but also silver ingots, goldfish, gold bricks, etc. But all the things that symbolize money in the world have flashed one by one. The luxurious special effects that didn't arrive for a second are staggering. Yi Bai called Niubi directly, which means he has experienced the special effects of local tyrants. This offensive alone is worth the price. And Chenkin Throw is not just gorgeous, the effect is really strong. If you touch it, you will be injured, if you touch it, you will die. The 1,000 enemies who ran over were intoxicated by the rain of money and fell to the ground. How magnificent is the scene! Even Yi Bai's reminders sounded one after another. The debut of Chenkin's Throw was amazing, and even the work efficiency of the gold miners was improved. After all, the the special effects of such a fork are still supported by them. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.